Hi guys, my name is iPhong and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo, the visual novels. In the previous episode, we found out that to understand Tezuka reigns is gonna make us to the neutral endings. So I really like that there's a tick box on the decision that I already made. So that's a really nice of the game developers for Leap Studios. Good job for letting the people who already play the games remember my previous choice. So I feel like to get a different ending for Tezuka Rin's route, I want to support her. Let's see what happens. I feel like the start of the climax is to support, but I don't know, like in my mind I think like the arguments between me and Tezuka Rins, my characters is Nakai Hisao, by the way. The argument between Hisao and Rin is gonna be the climax, but I feel like there has to be a choice before that gonna decide. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I just want to do just in case. Let's see what happens if I support Tezuka Rins on her journeys to her art career. I want to be there for her if she needs support from a friend. It's the least I can do. How can I call someone my friend if I can't be there for her if she needs me? Nomiya's boisterous laugh fills the quiet afternoon. Just as the club meeting ends, he passed one of the girls on the back encouragingly. Also, I have to do the warning disclaimers just in case if we're going to have a bad endings or some things that is awfully gonna be sensitive will going on in these videos. Katawa Shoujo is a game made by For Leap Studios and so far slice of life, but there's going to be multiple endings and there's going to be bad endings, and I don't know what the other ending is going to be. I don't know the bad endings, but just in case, if something that is very sensitive going to happen in this episode, if you have a weak heart condition, if you have a mental issue, if you have a depression or non-living thoughts, please make sure that your mental is 100% fully prepared before watching these videos, okay? Because I don't want any one of you guys and girls self-harm. I don't want any one of you guys and girls harm yourself. I don't want any of you watching these videos do that. Always remember you're not alone. Stay alive, okay? Nomiya's boisterous laughs fills the quiet afternoon just as the club meeting ends. He's passed one of the girls on the back encouragingly. I think about all the things that have led me to this point, all the things I shared with Rin during the few weeks I've been at Yamaku so far. I understand so very little in the end, but I'm sure of one thing. If I want to keep going what I have with Rin, I have to draw myself into wherever will come out of this exhibition project along with her. I turn my gaze back at the black mess of a sketch and the near invisible guiding line the teachers drew over it. The pattern is emerged. Nothing that could take me further than I am. I put the graphite down on the table and think hard and honestly about what I really want. Also, I stay calm. I need a moment away from chicken invaders trees a little bit. I promise you guys and girls I will play the veterans and superstar heroes difficulties, but I need to calm myself. Need more time now, okay? But also, oh my god, why is my reflections look so horror right now? The next day I take the bus into the city. It's just twice an hour starting in the morning, passing by the front gate of Yamaku at 20 minutes past and 10 to the hours. The ride takes considerably longer than the one Nomiya gave us in his car. I slowly read a book as the bus makes its round through the suburbs, pausing at almost every stop to pick up someone or let them out. Eventually, we make it to the last stop at the city center. The city is fair size, but not too large and seems too quiet. Nevertheless, I enjoy the atmosphere. Also, I make sure that I don't change anything in the option because I really want to reread what is going on, because it's been a while that I got the neutral endings and I don't want to forget the storyline, you know. Despite being slightly directionally challenged, I find my way from the bus station to the gallery without too much effort, and soon I find myself staring at the big letters in 20-second corners. Inside the gallery, owner is intensely studying a large painting hanging on the wall, a portrait of an old man. Good afternoon. She turns around to look at me and smile of recognition spread on her lips. Oh, aren't you the young man from the other day, Shinichi's student Hisao, was it? That's right, good afternoon, Miss Sayonji. Please, just Sae. I don't want to feel any older than I am. Sayonji Sae. You know, I'm so glad that even young people show interest in art nowadays. It's so refreshing. What brings you here? Surely you aren't just a courtesy visit all the way from your school. I actually came for in. I was hoping to see how she's doing. Not very good, to be honest. In the previous episode, Tezuka Rin's smoke, and so did Nakai Hisao. Smoking is bad for you kids. Oh, is that right? Well then you need to step back outside. You see, the atelier is actually at the next door on the right down the street and up the stairwell. Just climb the stair to the top floor. There's only one door there, you can't miss it. I keep silent my things, exit the gallery and locate the door she was talking about. It leads to a dark stairwell which reminds me of the stairs leading to the roof of the school building. The stairs are steep, and even though it's only five floors, my breathing gets heavy before I reach the top. So the atelier is on the 5th floor. So in the building that Rins has to draw for the art to hopefully make it to the art galleries. So all main characters, I mean also same as Tezuka Rin, because like it's where she works. But yeah, we had to climb up the stairs 5 floors. That's gonna be tiring, you know. And also I know that in the previous episodes, Tezuka Rin got so stressed out to the point that she smokes. And yeah, it's very unhealthy, but it's a neutral ending. At least nobody's pass away, you know. I mean, of course I feel like someone's hurts in the neutral endings hurts mentality, but still, like, it's not up to the point that it goes horribly wrong that someone pass away or do something rash, you know. But yeah, very unhealthy to smoke. Unassuming a wooden door waits for me there. It's unlocked, so I knock and enters. The atelier is really just one big room with the ceiling lowers at one end than the other because the roof of the building is covered. There's a huge skylight in the ceiling that acts as the main source of light for the room, bringing in sunlight that reflects off the white painted wall. I suppose it's good to use natural light for arts. There isn't much in the way of interior decoration, no surprise, since the room seems to have been used as storage for a while. All kinds of boxes and office furniture are scattered around the place. The room is dusty since it's not been used for a while. I can see that someone has made some effort to clean up a little, but it's far from immaculate. Riz stays in the middle of the room with her back to me, staring at a half-painted canvas placed on an easel. Now working on it, just staring, unmoving. She wears what must be second or third hand denim overalls over the standard school uniform shirts, much like the one I'm wearing. They look pretty worn and are covered in paint spatters for the way they seem to be loose or tight in places. I'm guessing that they weren't originally Rins. Hi. I'm not gonna lie though, like when we get into the character's route, I feel like it's peaceful and quiet not to hear what Genji has to say. And I'm not gonna lie though, like it's fine for the game developers, for Leap Studios to add some more contents, having characters that doing some comedic. But I feel like that trope is really boring for me, and I just feels like I just want to skip it. Hello. Readers judge might showing up as worthy of turning around, saying maybe something more than just a mechanical reply to my greeting, smiling, anything. The reason why I really want to skip Kenshi dialogue because I really want to focus on the girls. I just want to really focus on my choice that leads to the storyline, the main storyline. I feel like having Kenshi talking to you, it's just like the side quest. Like it just feels like hey, like you're sharing your opinions, you're sharing the story doesn't relate it on the story at all. It doesn't relate to what the girls are doing at all. So I feels like, oh, that job is getting boring. And you're trying to be comedic and act like a bad boy to a girls, but I feel like it's getting boring later on. And that's the reason why, like, I feel like I feel like there's an anime that I really like and I watched it last year in airtime, where actually like for something happens on the streaming device Netflix. I don't want to like talk too much about it, but again, everyone has to agree that we watch the freaking flowers blooms with dignity pirated on pirated website. I'm sorry Netflix, but delaying like ruins everyone's mood, man. I'm not gonna lie though. And also in the pirate website there's fan sub as well, and they do awesome job, better job than streaming device who always bring us politics in the subtitles or even English dubbing, which it doesn't make any sense, right? We just want to enjoy the original storyline. We just don't want streaming device or people behind the scenes, humans, subtitles to bring politics that doesn't relate to the storyline, to the anime at all, you know. So yeah, that's the reason why people feel like pirating is even more silver than streaming device. She keeps on doing whatever it is she's doing, probably some weird creative things inside her head. Perhaps I should expected as much. Still, I make another attempt at the conversation. Also, I just realized Crunchyroll Anime Awards voting is next week, so you gotta be prepared. But also, I really dislike on the voting system forcing people to vote 14 times, not one time, 14 times. So there's like 14 days of voting. People only vote once a day. So like in all of the journeys of the voting and due dates, so everyone's can vote 14 times. So it's becoming a spam vote. And yeah, that explains why the 9th Crunchyroll Anime Awards was so rigged. And I don't know about the 10th Crunchyroll Anime Awards, and I really hope that I'm sorry A1 Pictures, but I really don't want Solo Leveling Season 2 to win. And I really want Global Works to win at least one award, because they killing it with the romance animes. They made My Trace of Darling Season 2, and they made the freaking Flower Blooms with Dignity, and they also made Santa Claus Senpai. I have to call it Santa Claus Senpai instead of Bunny Girl Senpai because it's so weird. More like a Rascal Season 2, but it's mainly focused on the Santa Claus Senpai. So I don't want to call it like Bunny Girl Senpai Season 2. I don't want to, because it's just confusing. So I just feels like yeah, it's either Rascal Season 2 or it's either Puberty Syndrome Season 2 or it's either Santa Claus Senpai. And yeah, works killing it on the romance animes, and I can't wait to see them win. Okay, but at the same time, in my opinion, my heart, the animes that hits me home the most. I really wish that the Taikobi original scene get nominated. The animes that had studios Initias was responsible for, because it really hits me home. And yeah, I've been there, been bullied at school, and yeah, I was hurt, but it doesn't give me the right to hurt others. Just like Misao, remember that, okay? I mentioned about it before. But yeah, let's go back to Katawa Shoujo's. Perhaps I should expect that much. Still, I make another attempt at conversation. This is a pretty cool place to speak to. It is said I can use this as much as I like. I even have my own key. So how's the work going? She doesn't answer for a while. I begin to wonder if she already forgotten the question. As a cloud drifts over the building, shadowing the light pouring in from the skylight, the change in rain's surrounding seems to wake her up. I don't know, it's like a huge ball. I don't really know which side is the right one. It's really huge. It's the hugest thing ever, like a mountain growing inside of me, like I swallow a mountain whole. It's going to be hard, I think. Really very hard. I try to listen for undercurrents of stress and uncertainty in her voice, but I don't pick up anything like that. Why are you here? Her tone is not as unkind as the directness of the question it would make it seem. Well, you said that it would be fine if I came to visit, so here I am. I guess it's not for any real reason, but I thought you might like company or assistant or maybe some. Hisao, can you be quiet for about 15 minutes? Maybe 10 is enough. 5 definitely is not. You can talk afterwards. Her tone is sharp, nothing like I ever heard from her before. There is no command, no annoyance, no anger, but her voice pierces me all the same. Alright. With the silence fall, anxiety grips back into my heart. I wonder if it was a mistake to come here. A murmur of traffic filtered in from outside, and I start to feel more and more uncomfortable. All my thoughts keep finding themselves returning to certain things that have been swirling relentlessly in the back of my mind for some time now. I feel like those thoughts will surface out or up the tempestuous sea of my mind, whether I want it or not. Desperate to divert my focus, I fixate on Rin's back as my mind races. I don't think I ever studied anyone's back so intently before. Her neck hidden by copper color hair, which is again in complete disarray. That relaxed yet rigid posture reminding me that Rin's physical appearance often tends to be as awkward as her various trains of thought. The strong, delicate shoulder blades visible through the thin white fabric of her shirt. The contours of her hips curving down to her thin thighs. It pisses me off. Really, does she ever seem to be looking at me, whether literally or figuratively? On the other hand, I'm always watching her back, both literally and figuratively. Whenever she is painting, whenever something catches her flattering attentions, whenever I don't forcefully make her listen to me, I can reach to her. His heart is uncharted territory, dangerous waters, the blank areas on the map, the edge of the world. If I went too close, I wonder if I would fall off. What do I think of her? Sometimes she aloof and distant, and it annoys me. At other times, so her passions for the things she thinks are worthwhile shines through, and it inspires me. I can understand her. Still, I like her and consider her my friends. I suppose part of friendship is putting up with the oddities of the people who you call friends. I have to admit, there's a lot of putting up with Rin. What does she think of me? I have no idea. Last week, I thought she might have liked me romantically. What with the kiss and all? It forced me to ponder my own feelings too. This week, I'm utterly confused. What would she do if I told her I like her that way? I wonder if I really do. Dang, I can't make sense of even my own thoughts anymore. It must be contagious. If I say things like that, wait, matters? Nothing affects Rin. Nothing. I'm done. I find her turn around, now staring straight at me. It unnerves me. I try to remember what we, or rather I, were talking about before she requested the timeout. Alright, I just came to, I don't know. You still can't finish your sentence? It's not that. Fine. She reaches from the conversation, slipping away from me once again. She doesn't return to painting, but instead keeps looking at me with that empty poker face of hers. I want to talk about some stuff. I thought a lot about things. What things? Like what happened last week and so on. What happened? I get the feeling she's playing with me while I have no clue. It's not like she's playing with my head. I'm pretty sure she doesn't deliberately try to screw with people. Maybe it's just my own mind playing tricks on itself. Still, Rin feels like a puzzle in former girls. I feel distracted to it. Compared to solve it, the overly rational parts of my brain refusing to let me give up. I can't leave her alone. I never would have believed I could be this obsessive about something. Why do I hesitate so much and keep running in circles around her? I don't have to do that. I already decided what I want to say. Rin. Saying her name with an intention like this makes my mouth dry, as if my subconscious is fighting against what I'm going to say next. I feel like I'm going to lock up any moment now. Rin looks up from her pain-covered toes and stops wriggling them, as there isn't anyone to absorb them curiously now. The hard stare of her dark green eyes seems like a portent. I like you. The lack of any reaction is a slap to the face. So I mean, I like you as more than a friend. What is more? The slow, hesitant words coming from between her strawberry-colored lips are not the one I was waiting for. Neither of the two possible answers that I've been expecting actually. I feel myself blushing heavily as par for the course in this kind of situation. My heartbeat sounds like a percussion orchestra on drugs. Her Rin's fox innocent inquiry feels like I'm being grilled over hot coals. You know, like romantically and... No. Rin turns around, giving me a cold shoulder as she returns to looking at her paintings. She makes a move to pick up her brush, which lies forgotten on the floor, but decides against it at the last moment. I can't talk about that kind of thing now, so don't talk about that kind of thing, please. We are friends, right? So you can do that. So the silence those words leave behind is deafening. I want to say something, but my mouth refuses to move. There's no way I can retain my dignity. Rin finally picks up the brush without giving any explanation for her behaviors. Maybe there was something in her voice that gives away some emotion, but I couldn't say what. Her shoulders slump melancholically as her foot works the canvas in front of her. She won't let me see her face, and I know it. Feeling the weight of my heart grow heavier, I stand up to leave, for I can't stay here any longer today. It's like I have opened Pandora's box by stepping over some line that Rin didn't want me to cross, and she had to turn me down. I walk across the squiggly floor to the door leading to the stairwell. Rin's quiet voice stops me in my tracks as I'm about to open the door. Hisao. My hand still on the brass doorknob is waiting for me to turn it or to withdraw. Yeah? Will you come tomorrow? Yeah. Also on the background, you maybe can hear the sound of the fans, right? Not the voice, the fans don't talk, you know. The sound of the fans blowing because I don't want to get sweaty, you know. After an hour bath sleep, I go through the day mostly on automatic. I put on my uniform mechanically, do my schoolwork mechanically, eat my lunch mechanically, reply to teachers mechanically, and thus when the final bell rings, I still feel as I had just woken up. My mind feels blank and overcrowded at the same time, and I can't even begin to unravel the tangle of feelings I got myself into. I spent the bus trip downtown staring out of the windows, thinking about these things. As a result, by the time I climb the stairs to the atelier 4 floors, both sides galleries, I'm feeling completely exhausted. Expecting awkwardness, I quietly knock on the door before entering. I spot Rin at the center of the small, clear area in the room, working on a painting. She doesn't acknowledge my arrival in any way. Hi, I came as promised. Rin snaps her head to my direction immediately. Was she waiting for me to say something? And locks that gold green gaze of her on me. Although I'm sure my own face can't hide my feeling, Rin's expression is as expectant and neutral as always. The clouded, slightly absent-minded darkness in her eyes is like a wall standing between me and her. It's the first awkward silence between us that is truly awkward. Guess they both of us said something we couldn't take back, and there's no way it can be undone. I want to say something, but Rin forbade me from doing so. I can't even begin to guess what she's thinking, but I'm feeling the pressure of her lightless eyes on me, compelling me to break the silence without saying the things I most want to say. To my horror, I find that I can't find any way to start a conversation. It's as if I completely lost the ability to speak with her. Just keep walking if you're in the middle of something. I'll just sit down here. Rin nods worriedly at me and picks up the brush from the floor with the toes of her right foot. I sink into a worn-out sofa, picking up a book from my bag and opening it to where I stopped last night. I can't really concentrate on it, but it's better than doing nothing. The two of us are so close to each other, together in the same room even, and yet we both up doing our own things as if we were miles apart. I can't help but wonder about this unnatural situation. Why did I come here? Because she asked me to do it so yesterday, of course. However, it looks like there's absolutely no need for me to actually be here. It makes me feel awkward at first, but as I recall the previous silence, I quietly pass it with Rin and settle down and try to tune into that same comfortable mood I was back then. Time stretches and slow down. The pages of my book rustle each time I turn them. After maybe half an hour or 1 hour at most, Rin breaks the silence to my complete surprise. Hisao? Yeah. Are you my friends? It's an echo of yesterday. I know it. So even Rin couldn't just push it aside from her mind. Oh God, I answer honestly. I don't. Yeah, of course I am. Don't worry about that stuff like that. Come on. Okay. If she doesn't say anything further, I feel happy somehow. Several chapters later. Do you mean chapters in the act? Several chapters later, I mark my spot, close the book, and put it away in my bag. Oh, the books, the chapters in the book you're reading. Okay. Getting up from the sofas, I see that Rin made considerable progress on her painting. I take a look at it for a bit. It's still not quite finished, I suppose. The painting is still not quite finished, I suppose. It looks great. It's bad luck to comment on unfinished paintings. After that, I quietly leave the studio and catch the bus, taking me back to school. Alright, don't forget about the waters. Don't forget to drinking something. Me recording. Don't forget to drink something while you're gaming. Don't forget to drink something while reading visual novels, but don't drink alcohol, okay? Don't smoke too. Let's set us into some sort of vague undefined norm. I visit Rin whenever I can, but each time it's as strange as the first. They consist mainly of me watching Rin at work or just reading a book on the couch. While she works, we barely talk at all. Long quiet evening straight over the last weeks of June, I sit on the couch in the atelier listening to the quiet rustles of Rin's brush and my own hobbies, trying to make sense of the former and forget about the ladders. I'm a silent visitor in this place, a ghost. At some point, I start thinking that my presence is meaningful to Rin somehow, but never end up asking her about it. I don't bring up the forbidden topic anymore either, and try to stop thinking about it altogether. It's hard to do so, and doesn't get any easier with the passing of time. My heart aches every time I look at the awkward figure of the girl I decide that I like, yet who refuses to acknowledge it. I still can't seem to find the right word to talk to her about anything at all, but I find quite so late in observing her from nearby. The distance between us doesn't feel that huge when I can be closer to her, even if it's like this. Rin works like a demon. There is barely a moment when she's without brush between her toes and not walking in circles around her current work in progress, estimating it from every angle and distance. She seems to be completely taken over by her field to work, to change herself into the source of all this she believes would be worthy of the trust Nomiya and science have placed in her. Past of sketches, works in progress, tubes of oil paint and brushes slowly begin to crowd the small atelier, making it even messier than it was before Rin acquired the right to use it. I offer to help her clean up every now and then, but each time she refuses. It dawns on me that in her mind, the room is not in utter chaos. Rather, her system of keeping track of everything is so elaborate, only Rin herself can make sense of it. She knows exactly where everything is, from the tiniest brush to the half-empty tube of crimson that's the perfect shape for some picture in progress. Rin walks up from one painting to another, looking at them is as if not remembering that she made them. She talks to herself or to the painting, even when I'm present, always just quietly enough that I can't make out the words. Every day Rin pours herself onto the canvas for hours on end, squeezing every bit of her ability and even her soul to make good on that promise she made to me or herself. Black marks appear beneath her eyes, a sure sign that she's skipping sleeps in favor of painting. I'm somewhat not surprised to see her at school a few times. I never go and say hello though, as I somehow feel it will break the silent magic of the evening we share at the ateliers. Sometimes silence comes by when I'm there. Sometimes Sari comes by when I'm there. She gives me a certain kind of look when she shows up. I think she doesn't like that I'm always hanging out with Rin up here, but she never say a word about it. She isn't quite as full of praise for Rin's work as Nomiya, but is visibly impressed nevertheless. However, when she turns her eyes from the wonderful works of art to look upon the little red-headed girls that make them, a sudden deep sadness floats onto the surface of her expression. I can't explain it, and she never talks about it. June turns into July almost without warning. End of terms, exams looms dangerously close, but all I can think of is Rin. I feel like a sleepwalker at school, looking forward only to the next time I get to visit that silence place about science gallery. After Rin refuses my attempt at directly helping her with her works, I try to figure out other ways to help her. It finally dawns on me that she isn't eating properly. My course of action decided, I stopped at the convenience store before going to catch the bus downtown on my next visit to the studio. I feel very energetic as I open the door to the atelier and greet Rin. I brought you some fruit. You need vitamins and actual food. After all, do you even eat up here? I do eat. If I didn't eat, I couldn't paint. Then why don't you eat a couple of these? I shake the bag full of ripe orange in my hand in a ploy to tempt Rin into taking a break. To my surprise, she actually lays her brush down and walks over to me to see what I bought. Her expression doesn't change at all when she looks into the bag. I can eat oranges, he said. It does not work very well with feet. That's alright, I'll do it. Let his sounds or main characters feed you. Okay, Rin? Is that okay? Of course I knew that. She told me herself after all. I extracted the tiny fruit knife I had with me and selected one of the round fruits. After making the initial cut, I began to peel it with my fingers. The strong sense of cut orange red immediately fills the air as thousands of tiny droplets of oil burst from the skin. I removed the first sections of the hot peel and shoot a glance at Rin. So how's the work going? I don't know, it's like I'm in the center of some huge mountain of jellies and have to dig my way out. Must be stressful. I think it might be, even though it's just painting or this, everything feels really strange. I wonder if Rin is the kind of person who likes to carefully remove all the white fibrous stuff from oranges before eating them, or the more careless types who just eat them as they come. Maybe neither. I'm the former type, so I meticulously clean the orange slice one by one while Rin watches the process with mild curiosity. I realize that I don't have the faintest idea about her likes or dislike, or any of the other little details that makes up the concept of a person for those around them. It's like in all this time, I haven't learned much about her at all. Once I finish lamenting that fact, I realize I cleaned the entire orange and neatly split it into slices. I hold a slice up, bring it closer to Rin so she can pick it up. Here. She takes it in directly between her lips and then into her mouth hole. Her lower lips briefly brushes against my fingertip. Rin chews the slice carefully, savoring it as much as possible. I become fixated on the movement of her jaw, the trickles of juice glistening on her lips, the way her throat moves when she swallows the orange slice. After I realize what I'm doing, I turn away, feeling embarrassed about watching her so intently. It's not the same as it usually is. The orange painting? Oh well, is anything like that ever the same? It is sometimes, I think. I don't know what though. I might be starting to paint differently soon if this goes on. Well, wouldn't that just be the change? Wouldn't that just be that change you keep talking about? She thinks about it, blinking her eyes a few times nervously. For a moment, absolutely nothing happens, as if time itself did double takes. We stare at each other in silence. Only that faint, tangy scent of orange floating in between us, and the muffled sounds of traffic in the background. Then I pick up another slice and hold it to her. She takes it from me with her mouth, just like the first one. I didn't think it would be like this. We keep on going and see what happens. It's not like you can do anything else. Yeah, it's the only thing I can do. After that, she says nothing more. In the ensuing silence, I feed Rin the rest of the orange one slice at a time. Then I peel another for her, which she eats as well. The dirt I eat myself, and the rest are left in the plastic bag, which I put on the small desk next to a couch. She stands up and returns to her painting with a strange look in her eyes that I haven't seen before. Like most of her expressions, it's completely unreadable. Even if I asked, she wouldn't explain what it means. Alright. Some days later, I spot Rin and Sai standing together in front of the gallery as I walk down the street toward the gallery. They seem to be talking to each other while Sai has a smoke. Oh, this is when Rin asks Sai if she has the cigarettes for her to smoke. Oh no! Good afternoon. I said this even though it's not really the afternoon anymore. I came a bit later than usual since I got caught up doing homework. It's going to be dark soon. Hello there, Hisao came to visit the little kitten again. He makes me a face at the nickname. I guess she doesn't like it. Ironically, the way she wrinkles her nose like that really does make her look like a little bit like a cat. Hello. She turns back to Rin to continue the conversation they were having. So in other words, everything is going well enough? It makes a difficult expression and turns her face away from me for some reason. It's difficult. It's like I'm missing something, but I will do it. Work hard and it will be fine. I'm going to have to start working on my part of the preparation. I need to do a sales catalog, invitation, decoration, advertisement, and so on. I need the names for your work, and we also need to think up the general themes for the exhibition. They don't have anything like that. I'm not very good with words, so I don't use them. If I cannot use them, I mean sometimes I have to put... but I think this is not the time like that. Or you don't like naming your works? I don't like it, but I guess it's hard to come up with a good name for something like this. Let's shake her head vehemently. It's not like that. It's like if I paint a cloud and call it an octopus, people would think about it differently than if I paint a cloud and call it the end of the world. Every name is wrong. Nothing ever explains what I feel like when I make a painting. It's not word things. The only thing would be come up with a new words for everything, but would it help at all? No, I don't think so. Then the painting would just go with just a name, number 1 and so on. It's a bit inconvenient, but that's no good. A name means that you just didn't come up with a good name, and a name is a name, like that Greek guy with the ship and all. Sai thinks about this for a while, furrowing her brow as she keeps looking at Rin's serious face. So you're saying your artwork should be complete without labels? I think that's what I'm saying. So you two have different opinions. Sai lets out a dry laugh. The kind of old ladies who smoke too much always seems to end up with. Let's hope your art will never end up in the museum. The curators will explode. She takes a contemplative puff on her cigarette, which has worn down not much more than a butt. Then she drops it into the ashtray. Into an ashtray affixed to the wall next to a door. Okay, good work. What do you mean? This namelessness, this rejection of labels, it works. It's a good unifying theme and something people can grasp onto easily. Allows for a lot of room for interpretations. It gives a good impression. Think about it. All sorts of associations can be made, starting from in identity and self-definition, all the way to wherever you want to think about it. We could call your exhibition nameless and build it on that theme. How does that sound? Been thinking about this for a while. I'm not sure how Sai managed to get fired by Rin's reluctance to apply names to her work. It feels like she might be extrapolating too much, but it's a pretty impressive sounding idea. I don't think it's a bad idea, but for what it's worth, I have to say it sounds pretty good to me too. Sai reaches into her pocket for another cigarette, lighting it with neon green butane lighters. Her forehead crinkles and she rubs it as she appears to furiously think more on this idea. She doesn't say a word for a little bit, but every now and then she takes a sharp drag from the cigarette. Yes, I think this will work out pretty nicely. I'm going to take this as the starting point and work from there. I'm going to work on this. You go back upstairs and try to find your missing ingredient. I'm sure it will come to you sooner or later. He doesn't reply, so Sai takes one last long pull from her cigarette and drops it in the tray to join with others on his gang. The gallery owner turns to head back inside, but it's stopped by Rin just as she reaches for the door handle. Say, what is it, kitten? Guys, some cigarette. She looks at Rina incredulously, clearly not having expected such a direct request. Not that I did either. Don't tell your teachers. She stuffs the packet in Rin's pocket along with the neon green lighters. Say, you were the one bad supervisors. Like, when the students ask for a cigarette, you know what something's going wrong, and you should not do that. Like, adults should teach their children not to smoke, not to drink alcohol, live healthier, okay? Like, parents, teachers out there, you need them to be a good models for the kids, for the next generation, you know. The day is already falling into dusk when we climb up the dark stairs leading up to what is now basically Rin's ateliers. As we go inside, Rin doesn't seem to be able to settle down. She keeps pacing around the room like a caged animal, looking through the skylight at the burgundy colored dusk. The last light of the sun's advance across the skies reflects from the cloud floating over the town, filling every corner of the atelier with blazing orange light. So painting is going well? I don't think so. She blinks relaxes her muscles. I didn't even realize how tense up she was until now. Not really, I haven't painted in 3 days. I'm going in squares, circles, if you say so. I tried doing things a bit differently, but it doesn't work. And now the old way it doesn't work either. I need something more. It's not enough like this. Rin's response gave me a pause, and since as usual I can't exactly understand what she means, although really I shouldn't have expected anything else. She either said nothing at all or too much. Trying to comprehend and follow her train of thoughts feels like wading through the jungles of Borneos equipped with a wooden spoon and a map of Hokkaido. It's annoying how her thoughts are both laid out in plain sight and hidden from view every time she opens her mouth. What's more, you said that not to cite as well a missing ingredient? I think I have to destroy myself. Okay, that's an unnecessary grim. What do you mean? Rin's shoulder slump and she turns to face me directly. I have to change. I tried, but this is not enough yet. I have to destroy myself first, I think. Just to be clear, you're speaking metaphorically, right? Like learning to paint from scratch again, or whatever, so to speak. She shook her shoulder as if there's no difference. There's no difference. So you're going to start by smoking a cigarette for inspiration. Maybe I never tried this before, have you? No, I can't say I have, but I don't think you should try. Hurting yourself to get inspiration is not the way, okay? Still, I'm not really sure if having a smoke is the best starting point. She responds to my words with another nonchalant stroke. I open the cigarette pack and look inside. It's almost full. Smoking is bad for you, but that's the idea here, I guess. Yes, I need to do something. I want to paint. I need something more. So okay, fine. What's after smoking a cigarette then? How do you intend to destroy yourself? Rin thinks for a split second, averting her gaze like she does when she doesn't want to get distracted. I don't know yet. I decide later. Rin bends down to pick out the cigarette from the end. She raises her head with one between her lips and turns to me. Her eyebrows curved into two arcs, challenging me to respond. With a sigh of resignation, I pick up the lighter and raise it to meet the cigarette. I can feel Rin's warm breath against my quivering hand. The flame flickers to life on the third strike of my flint. The third strike of the flint, and I try to aim the dancing fire at the end of the cigarette. An amber-colored glow spread into the wrapping paper and tobacco as Rin inhales the first smoke. It seems to relax her significantly. To my surprise, she doesn't cough, despite telling me that she's a first timer. First time smoking and she not cough. That's insane. I would have coughed if I smoked cigarette. Which I never smoked cigarette before, and I'm a non-smoker in real life, okay? Rin seems to remember that it's harder to blow the smoke out without spitting the cigarette out as well. She quickly sits down on the floor, bringing her foot to her lips like a circus contortionist, and expertly picks the filter between two toes. I get down on the floor as well as we both lie down almost simultaneously while Rin blows a steady stream of smoke towards the dim skies beyond the glass of the skylight, looking after it thoughtfully. The thin haze of the stealing blue smoke slithers toward the ceiling in fish-like movement. It billows in the stagnant air of the atelier, twisting and turning around its own immaterial body until it dissipates in thin air. What's the word? What's the word for smoke that looks like that? There's no word for that. We should maybe come up with one. Maybe. It takes another quick experimental track. It's not very tasty. Feels like inhaling the dust lying on top of the forgotten book about the memories of the past away kingdom. Do you want to try? My hesitation unintentionally surfaced again, making me freeze in the face of the rather trivial and commonplace challenge. Rick's ability to take everything so coolly is something I'm a bit jealous of. Alright. Taking it from her, I have a drag on it, fighting against the sudden choking feeling in my lungs as they fill with smoke. To my embarrassment, I fail, wheezing and hacking my lungs out. I feel flustered, but maybe I haven't lost too much of face in Rin's eyes. It less unpleasant on the second try, but I still pass on the cigarette back to Rin. We're like a pair of budding delinquents in middle school, sneaking their first smoke out of sight of their teachers and parents. Well, I suppose it's not like that's exactly what we are. After a while, the cigarette has strung most of the way down to the filters. Rin is still looking quietly out of the skylight. With her looking out there, the silence inside the atelier seems to deepen even more. Are the cogs of creativity turning behind those eyes right now? Do another one. I mechanically picks another cigarette, light it and place it on Rin's lips. She takes a few quick puffs and moves it awkwardly around her with her lips. Fake faith. Not understanding her garbled words, I glance over at Rin. It looks like she is having trouble with the cigarettes. I pick the cigarettes from her lips and place it on mine, abandoning common sense and good reason why I do so. The first one should have been enough for me, but I take another drag, still coughing a little at the unpleasant sensation of smoke invading my respiratory organs. I remember doing something like this before, so you have smoke doesn't look like it though. Lying on my back and looking at the sky with you. Oh. The sky on the other side of the glass is slowly growing darker. It's unreachably high, even if the shimmering smoke seems to make it closer. I return the cigarette back to Rin's mouth. It feels bad somehow. The space between us, less than arm reach, is still there. It's the distance between us, the immeasurably wide chasm of thoughts and feelings that separates us with graver suddenly than even like years of physical distance could. By saying the right word, there might be a way to make that chasm narrower, even if it's just a little. I try to cross the gap with one big step, but Rin turns me back. I glance at her out of the corner of my eye. Rin is staring upward through the smoke-filled ceiling and the skylight at the darkening sky above us. It's almost like she is sleeping, even though I know she isn't. Her eyes are open, as is her mouth. I take the cigarette from Rin before it falls on her cheeks. She doesn't react to my touch anyway. So this is where we are now. I wonder if we can ever be closer than this. I take the drag of the cigarettes and blow the thin stream of smoke outwards. These indirect kisses are the only things that connect us right now. The taste of Rin's lips on the filters, mixed with the ashen taste of the smoke. Her soft lips against my fingers as I press the cigarette on her mouth, as if she was placing kissing on them. The ash softly falling on the floor between us like snow. As the second cigarette is being finished off, I'm already lighting the third one. Oh my god, you should stop! That's way too much cigarette, okay? Like even one cigarette that destroy your freaking lung already. The only thing breaking the stillness of the atelier is the inaudible sound of smoke floating towards the first stars blinking overhead. Lightning just hits me by the fourth or fifth cigarettes. Before long, the shape of the waxing moon appears in the skylight, shedding her fan down on us. It will be full moon in a few days. It would be nice to be able to fly. I flinched after realizing it was my own voice that gave birth to the remarks that the child of the almost inebriating smoke and tiredness. You can. Sometimes I feel like I can do anything. I wish I feel like that too sometimes. I wonder if she hears the bitterness seeping into my words. The vicious cycle of unregretted feelings is poisoning me even now. I try to push the dreams toss aside. My efforts meet with the little success as my mind keeps swirling around what if and if onlys. Watching the moon slowly creeping higher, I realize that a long time has passed since I come here. It sobers me somewhat, but also reminds me of the sad status quo we're in now. It's late, I better get going back to school. I step up to leave, but Rin doesn't show any sign of rising up from the floor. She lies inanimate, as though all life has been sapped from her. Little wisps of smoke float about her and memories of the cigarette we share. I grasp her by the short and thin arm and try to pull her up. To my surprise, she complies and stands up with some help from me. I notice how little Rin weighs, as if she were made of feathers. Are you going to stay here overnight? I haven't painted much in 3 days. I have to find out how I can stop painting. Maybe the smoke helps. Just take a break. That's not good. I have to do it. If I can't paint anymore, I will be destroyed for real. Maybe you just burn out. You've been working pretty hard. Way too hard. That would be bad. I wonder if this is it for me. I wanted to see how far can I go. Maybe this is it, the end. You just have the artist block. It's not a big deal. That's the word for when you can't paint, right? I had that before. Never like this though. I pick up a brush, then I want to put it down right away. And then I do 3 days. It's like I've forgotten how to paint. I didn't think that was possible. Like more impossible than Emmy growing wings and tail. You need a break. I mean, I get that you're trying to go deeper inside yourself for your paintings, but it's really not that healthy to stay inside your own head for so long. I glance at the night skies visible through the window. A couple of stars are weakly drinking about the city. They remind me of something I used to do once upon a time. It feels so horribly long ago. Come on, let's go outside. Where? Just for a while, I'll show you my secret place. I don't know if it works in this town, but we can try. In any case, you need a break and probably something to eat. Come on, you need to get your thoughts away from this for a while. When they are trouble, most people escape from their unhappy lives into a world of fantasy. I did that before and still do today. Reading books endlessly, immersing myself in their world rather than my own. Real escape should be the other way around, though out of her in the world and into the real. Rin doesn't look happy about this, but I ignore her. At least she's somewhat cooperative, walking up to me as we head down the stairs and then down the sidewalk. Night has fallen upon the town. It's a gentle summer night, smelling of flowers and hot of sport. The sunlight is replaced by shining neon colors and plain yellow streetlights. The air is easy to breathe, as if the air pressure was noticeably lighter than usual. The feeling of daytime in the hot summer has lasted long into the evening and night. I grab Rin by her sleeves like I seen Emmys do, and to my surprise, she obediently follows. The pale street lights fight against the all-enveloping darkness as we walk together, the guide and the guided, although neither knows the direction, the destination. But it doesn't really matter. This is the moment where the usual silence that have become a ritual between me and Rin at last fit perfectly. We walk side by side, choosing direction on impulse or inspiration. Sometimes we find ourselves back at the street we already seen once or twice. Sometimes we find new streets. Autumn looks asleep. Rin doesn't ask her where we're going. Maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she knows that I don't have the answers. The silence of the night isn't scary. After all, the lights drives most of it away. The air grows cooler as the moon progresses along its journey in the cloud sky. Few cars roam the street at these hours, and even fewer people are on the sidewalk. The apparent lack of natural life is somehow befitting of this place. There are around-the-clock shops and cafes, sure, but the atmosphere is like the town itself is slumbering, a town that sleeps 8 hours a day. The city I grew up with, bathed in the electric glow of a million light bulbs, never sleep. I have seen it for myself. It's not the first time I've done this. It happened one of the first time I was home alone. Both my parents had business trip that neither could cancel, so they deemed me old enough to survive 2 days on my own. Their misplaced trust in me did not go to waste as I proceeded to spend the entire night out walking around the city. Even afterward, I couldn't say what made me stay downtown longer than I intended after school. I didn't feel like going home, so I stayed through the evening and eventually through the entire night. I walked along a concentric circle around a landmark choosing at random. For some reason, the nighttime cities felt fascinating, so I walked its streets. At every intersection, it was possible to choose your direction at random because they all lead nowhere. The endless wandering made me see things differently. I hope it will do the same for Rin. We stopped to buy some hot coffee and snacks from a vending machine, and then locate a bench where we could sit down and eat. We sit down to eat. There's no time in the night. There's no time in the night of the town, so we spent an unknown amount of it just sitting there, observing the stillness of the usually vivid townscape. Still, it's getting very late, and soon it will be getting very early. So is this it? Hearing Rin's voice surprises me. She doesn't sound bored, rather her tone is inquisitive. Uncertain as to why I dragged her out here, yet curious to find out the answers. Yeah, have you ever been out all night? It's like a different world. The remark sends her thinking for a while, looking around as if she was looking for something. The whisk of light reflecting from the corner of her eyes are suddenly very sharp. It's not a different world, it's the same, just asleep. What do you think this town is dreaming of? Maybe something like called sheep or building sheep, while our dreams always is about sheep. I never seen a sheep related dream that I can remember. Do different towns dream of different things? Probably, how could they not? I answer half joking, half spurring her on. For the first time tonight, it seems like a bit of Rin's life had returned to her. She doesn't continue her list of rhetorical questions though. Instead, she leans back a little and looks up at the moon traveling above the town. The cool breeze blowing between the buildings seems to steal the conversation away before it even really begins. It's too bad. It looked like Rin would get out of her blue mood. I wish I could somehow know the right things to say, but I realize I can't do that the way I am now. I'm too far apart from Rin. I haven't really managed to crack her open. She's just too complicated. It's like she is open to everything, equally disinterested in everything from the outset. In truth, she locked tighter than anyone else I know, even myself. Sometimes she locks herself inside that inner world, shutting everything else out. At other times, her thoughts float freely from her mind, but not organized in any fashion that would make them intelligible to the rest of the world. What comes out in the form of painting, I can't interpret. To me, it's just a sea of colors and shapes, not a message. She's too far away. I now know it was a bad idea to try to reach for her in the way I did, but I can't help liking her. I look at the finger of my head. I look at the finger of my right hand, trying to remember what Rin's lips feels like against them. Do you ever feel like you're trying to reach out for something that's impossible to reach? Rin turns her gaze to me, tilting her head quizzically. I wonder if she understands the meaning of my own rhetorical question or not. Either way, I like how I can manage to catch her attention just by speaking aloud nowadays. All the time. At least I think so. That's what painting feels like a lot of time. Or all the time. I don't know. Sometimes I get the feeling that I can really paint what I want. Sometimes it feels like it's just another shadow of me, like a mirror that doesn't work right. Like talking? Maybe. When I was little, I didn't really have friends. Maybe it's the same now. The only thing I liked were pens and pens. They were the only thing that understood me. Now it feels like that is going to away too. Change really is a scary thing. I wish I could understand you. She looks at me. She looks at me melancholically, roused by my thoughts materializing as words spoken aloud. Me too. Whether she's meant she wished for me to understand her to understand me, or her to understand herself, I never asked, nor do I find out. I see her eyes searching for mine, serious and cryptic as they are. I'm not getting any explanation from there. Don't worry about it. I will. Small hints of the smiles are wavering on her lips. When she's like this, it makes me feel that maybe there's hope for us. We get along so well for being so different. It's just that we never really get along precisely because we are so different. Maybe it was Rin's passionate approach to her own art exhibition, or perhaps my own careless words, but last week was different from usual. The small frictions between us seems to be somewhat volatile, but at least we now seems to be back to normal, relatively speaking. We stand up from the bench and pick up pick yet another direction in which to go. The wee hours of night slowly pass by as we measure the streets of the town, one step at a time. We are finally at ease, not minding the rain lone pass by, the eerie darkness, each other's ourselves. Ray's steps seems lighter, like the heavy air around her is letting go a little. It makes me feel happy. We don't talk except for single remarks that are spoken into the night of the town and never answers. The detail jumps into the eye instead of being the usual blur they are during the day. As the skies above the town change from deep dark blue to grey, I know that our night is soon ending. It's almost morning. Rain looks up to and nods at me. It's true, the coming light of morning is creeping through the sky, climbing higher by the minute. It feels surreal. The sun will come up for a while, but I get the feeling that the end of this night really is here now. Should we head back? Rain nods again, twice her hair waving in the breeze that seems to be heralding the coming dawn. Abruptly, she takes off and taking the lead in this walkabout on which I brought her. It seems she's really is in the better mood. This too makes me feel happy. Rain's navigational skills are probably not much better than mine, but we eventually find ourselves in front of Sai's place. I don't know if this was any help. I did this once before and it was more because of the stupid impulse or maybe restlessness back then. Maybe this was a silly idea and didn't really help you at all. She just nods as an answer. So do you know how you're going to destroy yourself now? I have some idea. I don't want to see you for a while. Don't come and see me. Do something else. Her ultimatum catches me completely off guard. What the heck? What's this about? You said before that you didn't mind. I mind now. It's just for a while. I have to do this alone. I don't like that. Why? I don't want it to go like this. Why? I just don't want to feel this distance between you and me. She tilts her head like a bird, her eyes narrowing a little as she thinks. Then you can touch me? What? You can touch me if you want, you feel better, right? I don't know. Try. But do you want me to touch you? No chest or left ears, other than that you can decide. Fine. I raise my hands hesitantly, even though I don't know why I'm actually doing this. Her eyes tells me that she's not going to explain. A thousand thoughts race through my head as I slowly bring my hand closer to Rin's face and press 3 fingers against her pale cheek. Rin feels soft and cold. She closes her eyes on contact and visibly relaxes. I can feel her soft breathing, her muscles releasing tensions as my fingertips caress her cheeks. She doesn't rest her head against my palms or anything else you expect a girl to do in this sort of situation. In fact, she hasn't reacted at all, except for those now shut eyes. Once I withdraw my hand, she opens them again. It might be just an illusion created by the timid morning sunlight playing with my eyes, but the Rin looks like she's holding back a smile. This is a problem with our relationship. Half the time, I have no idea what's going on, and the other half, I just fail to understand why things are going on like they are. As usual, I'm not going to get an explanation. Rin merely takes a step towards the door. See you later. And then she disappears from my reach for an undefined period of time. This is not okay. Someone smoking cigarette and then walking around at night. Unhealthy. Like Rin seriously need more sleep, okay? Like resting is a part of the exercise. Resting is also part of the jobs, you know. Like you need to look after for your health. No. I hold true to my promise of honoring Rain's request, even if it's against my own will. I try to redirect my focus into my studies, but end up zoning out during classes and doing only the minimum amount of work it requires. Still, I start looking into my post-high school options a bit more seriously. I pour over university brochures and various career paths. I'm good at studying, so I want to go to the university. I'm pretty sure I could get into a pretty decent one too. The only problem is deciding which subject would be the best. Kenji ridiculed me about subjecting myself to the control of feminist teachers when I tell him about trying to get into the university. I don't ask him about what he wants to do in the futures. I wonder what Rin thinks about of her own futures. I bet she's not as lost as I am, and if she is, it's probably in some completely different way. I feel somewhat disappointed in finding out that I can't stop thinking about her. Her request makes me worry about her and think about her more than I did when I could go and see her when I want it. It bothers me that I can't. As expected, I eventually crack. Like one afternoon, I get on the bus heading downtown. I try to avoid explaining to myself exactly why I'm doing this and keep thinking about other things for the entire duration of the trip. After a 5 minutes walk, I'm standing in front of the gallery. I walk past it to the door of the ateliers, but at that last moment, I lose my courage and continue on all the way to the next corner, at which point I turn back. Will Rin hates me if I go and see her? I wonder what she's like when she's angry. I never seen her angry, or you will soon. The worst thing would be if I actually ruin something by going to see her, like she's seems to imply will happen, but there's no way that can be true, can there? It's just one of her quirks. I walk back down the street and end up passing the atelier door for the second time. Only this time, as I continued all the way to the gallery, its owner is standing just outside the door watching me. I thought that was you. What are you doing? I really don't want to explain the circumstances between Rin and me, so I get flustered and end up mumbling something unclear. I take stock of me and then sigh deeply, looking brightly amused somehow. I hope she didn't misunderstand. Would you like to come in? Your teacher is visiting. We were discussing Rin's exhibition. Oh, thanks for the invitation, but I really should. Don't be shy now, come on in. I follow Sai inside, finding that our art teacher indeed is there. Nomiya is standing at the big desk, contemplating what looks like an invitation of cards. Look what the cat dragged in. Nakai, hello there, my boy. He doesn't seem to be our old face by my experience. How do you like the invitations? I glance at them quickly. They are kind of fancy, with one of Rin's painting printed on the front cover and shining gold writing. They look fine to me. They are magnificent. I absolutely love the design and the embossed gold lettering. Fabulous. Good bring work too. You have to tell me where you get these done. What does Rin think? I haven't asked. She said she'll be fine with my decision anyway. Nomiya laughs boisterously, still turning the gold letter got in his hands. That's my girl. She wants to focus on the essential only. Good for her. Her work is progressing well too. It seems she found new inspiration. I think she's been sort of weird lately. It's like she's wrestling with something, with herself probably, and it makes her confused. She says she had a hard time painting the last time I saw her. It seems to be resolved now, however. I don't think so. It seems to be resolved, my butt. You know, she's practically lives up there now, right? So it makes a simple gesture with her hand, as if sweeping my question aside. Sure. Don't you think that's weird? Maybe it is. Still, I think she understands how big an opportunity this is and is going for it full throttles. Is it really that big? Nomiya sets the card down and brushes some imaginary dust off his jacket. Well, how should I put it? There are times in everyone's lives where something really big washes over you and changes you forever. This could be just that moment for Tezuka. I see. Yeah, I think I had something like that happen to me. I'm referring to the incident that brought me to Yamaku. Neither of the two adorns comments on that, however. It might well be that everyone has or will. At any rate, surrendering oneself to art is a big decision, and a thorny path too. Quite thorny indeed. Tezuka has almost everything one needs, but whether she has the will to pull through, that's a different question. I should know that best. I try going down this path too, but turn away in the end. I don't understand what he's trying to say. And in the previous episode, I already picked the second decision. Why did you turn away from being an artist? And now we are continue to being supportive. Is that why you're being so supportive of Rin? Is that why you're being so supportive of Rin? Because you know it's hard? So you answered me instead of the art teachers. Maybe partially, does it bother you? Well, no, I'm not saying it's a bad thing either, just don't get it. Like the atelier is an amazing place, but it's not being used in who knows how long, and now that Rin came along. 17 years and 4 months. I raised my eyes to mid-size, a calm calculating stares, not unlike Rin's own, is fixed upon me. Nomiya's usual smile has suddenly passed away too. It feels like the pressure in the galleries has suddenly dropped, along with the temperatures. That is how long it's been since someone worked there. Oh. I guess there's a story for everything. Sai crosses her arms with a quiet sigh and leans against the table. The atelier belongs to my husband. He was an artist too. He lived up there. Well, we both lived up there for some time after we got married. Oh my god. We actually met through him, as a matter of fact. That's right. Anyway, we were young and foolish, or at least we were studying art at the same school. Arts history for me, painting for him, and as he just said, this was about the time I met your teachers. Anyway, I fell madly in love with this person, or maybe with his art. He was brilliant. His genius just shone so brightly whenever he put a brush to a canvas. Her voice takes on an almost reverent sort of tone as she reminisces about her husband. I look at her husband and notice that she's not wearing a wedding band, and on top of that, she keeps speaking in the past tense. He really was the kind of artist who would make history books, one with the direct line to God. That's what I thought anyway. Silly, isn't it? I think that we all knew that he was something else back then, even the teachers. That genius, well, I say it consumed him. Everything, absolutely everything was second to art. Be it the social life, getting a job, or even me, it just wasn't as important. It's just that the artists can look at their work just a job, you know. It's something more fundamental to them. It was hard to live with a person like that. Hard to be married to a person like that. She takes a pause and looks to see if I understood. I guess the point of this story hasn't emerged yet, that or I missed it. So how did you copy it? My question, probably not the exact one she was waiting for, draws a dry chuckle out of her. However I could. Sometimes it was hard. Sometimes I fooled myself into believing that he would change. I pursued my own things too, so it was easy to just let him be. It's not like you can stop an artist from painting if he wants to paint. Plus, being an artist is fascinating. I can't say that I hate it. Art schools are full of all sorts of posers and pretentious smokes, but true artists are lovely people in general. I think that's why our teachers. I think that's why your teachers had taken such a shine to our little kittens. She really has the makings of an artist, and a good one at that. She wants to paint. She must paint. By so, she's the best student I ever had. It's just about her finding her own way now. Maybe that's why I wanted to give her this chance. If she goes to an art school, it would be good for her. Artistic expression is about finding one's own place to be, your own limits, and then working with that to expand them, to break them wherever works best. But you have to know the limit of what you can do. Anyway, long story short, my husband was a person without these kinds of limits and unique individuals, but a human being can't endure things like that. True. He passed away young. After he was gone, I couldn't stand the atelier anymore and tried to forget it. That kind of thing happens. You could say that his flame was bright but brief. Her story comes to an abrupt end, but it doesn't seem like she's going to go any further. Namiya tossed with the invitation card lying on the table as if doing something just for the sake of doing it. But what if Rins is like your husband too? What if she's a person who has unlimited potential? Sai's hands twisted and I see once more that sad look welling up in her eyes. It's the look she gets when she watches Rin. The look by which she remembers her husband. I doubt it. Sai stands up and digs in the pocket of her jacket for a cigarette and lighters. Her hands are shaking. I'm going out for a smoke. What Leslie, Nomiya and I both decide to follow her after a moment. It's already dark as I say, standing with her back to us, taking sharp, occasional drags on her cigarette. Its wicker amber glow illuminated her face, framing her sharp jawline. Maybe it's best to go in at night. I can give you a leg back to school if you want, Nagai. You're not going anywhere, Shinjichi. I need a drink. We're going to that place at the corners. The teacher looked at the old ladies, then struck at me apologetically. It's no problem. I just got the bus back. I'm heading upstairs to see if Rin will come back to school with me. Anyway, I think she's been staying overnight here too often lately. Sai locks the front door of the gallery and links on with the old art teachers. I feel strange looking at them. I wonder what it feels like to have friends who have been with you for decades, for most of their life. I can't imagine it. The two of them start making their way down the street towards the bars on the corners, so I quickly head upstairs to the atelier door, ready to get to what I originally came here for. I climb upstairs and enter carefully. The room is dark because of the quickly falling night, but I can see Rin, or rather her silhouette, sitting on the floor. So she got her inspiration back like Sai did and moved from easel to painting on the floor. Before I managed 5 steps, I stopped. I froze in my track. And she broken. Yeah. I totally understand Sai's backstory about her husband, but yeah, poor Sai husband passed away young. But yeah, as I said in the previous episode, people pass away for overworking, and yeah, they need to pay attention to their health. Like sometimes they need to know when to rest. Like I totally understand that work is important, but you need to look after for yourself, okay? Rain sitting on the floor with her leg under her. Something in the atmosphere of the room changed. A little things not consciously noticeable, but it changes. Perhaps a timid current from the open door, or a minute change in air pressures, the sounds of my breathing. Even though I noticed I haven't taken a breath for many seconds, the aura of my presence. Then something catches Rin's senses. She stopped moving, freezes, and slowly turned to the door. I imagine not seeing the horror on her face, like a fond eyes staring at the hunters. I wonder if Rin can see my expression, but at least she doesn't have the strength or the spirit to look straight in my eyes. So she drops her chins against her chest, letting her mess of her hair hide her face from me even further. I feel like I should either walk out or walk to her, but I can't do either. I thought she would stay away. Her words are defeated, painful as if she was suffering. There's no way I can back up anymore. I lost a chance, so I do the next best thing. I quickly avoid my gaze, even though Rin doesn't see what I'm looking at. I'm sorry, I didn't think. It's not like that. Her voice is raspy. Her voice is raspy, shivering from her back, tears or something else. She's shaking, looking like she's physically in pain. It's not like that. I have no idea what it really means to change, but I know now you have no idea what I have to do and all the things that I pass through. And I think I forget. I really don't. They just build up inside, grow until they flow out like a flow of everything that has ever been wrong. I can take it. I can't think of the thing I want because there's so many things that I can think for sick. The matters. It's never enough. I have to let this out. I have to destroy, forget it, and nothing else. Rin is mumbling her words into the air more than talking to me. It's like this ranting, raving speech of a lunatic, even and steady in tones, but taking the form of a never-ending stream of words almost simultaneously spawning from between her lips. It feels like she forgot that it is me who is present, or that someone is actually present. Maybe she's vaguely recognized what is real or what is not. Maybe in her mind I'm a voice inside her head. She looks more broken than I imagine a human person being capable of, and the hospital and school giving me some real perspective on that. I remember the hazy blue smoke and myself wondering what Rin would do for the sake of art. The realization that Rin really is always serious hits me with its entire weight. She really and truly would destroy myself. She really and truly would destroy herself if her art required it. Not myself, herself. I thought she was so silly with her strange ways, talking about personal strength as if it was something sudden and concrete, like waking up. I had no idea. This is her like bear in front of my eyes, in all possible meaning of the word. Complete isolation here in the top floor of this building, in this room in her mind. Day after day, working on her paintings with no heat paid to anything else, making herself to reach that which she wishes to reach. Why does she have to do this? I'm trying to connect the pieces, but I don't understand. I feel sad, scared. I feel sad, scared, excited, disgusted, worried, and a number of emotions I can't remember the name of now. I feel conflicted. Ashika, I'm really sorry. It doesn't matter. My voice is dry and quiet, like sandpaper coming out of my throat. I am sorry. Sorry for saying this. I don't want to see Rin like this. All I can see is her sadness, her stress and despair. Is this what a limit means? Why would how could say Nomiya let Rin go this far? Or is it me who is to blame? I almost walk out right there, but at the last moment I turn around, I steal myself and walk out to Rin to crouch down behind her and lightly touch her forehead. She doesn't resist or react. I can't leave her like this. She's not well. She feels like she has a fever, freezing cold, and burning hot at the same time. I wonder if she got sick from staying out all night with me back then. It seems she's prone to getting ill. There's a blanket on the couch, but I wrap my arms around Rin instead of fetching it. She does not resist my clumsy hug, only slumps as her head lowers, deepening the shadows hiding her face from me. What are you doing? Nothing, just hugging you, hopefully make you feel better. I'm not embracing her out of love, not out of forgiveness. Am I in love or is she sorry? I just want to hug her. For a moment, the only sounds in the room is her heavy breathing. My body warm, shared between two people. It's barely enough, but slowly, painfully, it spreads from me to her. The small warmth returning to Rin makes me more conscious of her body against mine. Even in the darkness, I can feel the fleeting sense of Rin's hair, the sweat on her skin, the dry pain stuck in her shirt. I feel the hardness of her bone and the softness of her flesh. Her heartbeat echoing mine of the rhythm, just like always. The hot blood rushing inside me reminds me why I said that I said back then, and why I came here even after that. Why am I here tonight again? Why am I hugging her now to keep her safe against the cold and the sadness? Rin has really grown on me inside my heart, claiming a small part of it as her own without even particularly trying. Rin, even if she wanted to push me away, I can't have this feeling. Are you alright, Rin? I'm not. I think I broke. I painted some really good things, incredible. But it hurts me. I can't handle this. Her voice cuts out as there is no more words for her to say. It's not an angry voice or a sad voice. It's a lifeless voice. I pat her head and shoulders, the physical equivalent of saying there. It's not like I could reassure her with the sweet nothings that people are supposed to say in this kind of situation. I'm not sure if she would even listen or be reassured. She didn't react much to my embrace either, as if she didn't care. Maybe she doesn't. At least she doesn't care if she looks sad or not. There are no facade, no attempts to explain herself, no false happiness. Rin is honest. And we are seeing shrimp. That is scary. The sound of heartbeats and yeah, the shape of the heart looked like a shrimp curling. God, it's creepy, and I like it. I reach out for a blanket and wrap it around her and me. Rin doesn't resist me. She is drained of all strength. What will happen now? I don't know. Nothing. I suppose you look tired. I'm tired. It feels strange. Like I lost something. I mean something else than my marital purity. Don't say something like that. Neither of those things. I don't want to lose you. What does that mean? I'm not going anywhere. I'm afraid that you are all the time. In that moment, I felt that it was not only Rin who lost something of hers. I felt like I was losing a part of myself, maybe or me. But if you were to ask what was it that I lost, I couldn't say because I had already forgotten it. I broke another promise by coming out with my honest feeling to Rin. That's true in one day. I hate the distance between you and me, so every time it gets a little bit closer, I become afraid of losing it. That's weird. I guess so. Do you mind if I sleep a little? No, I guess you don't. You like watching, don't you? She closes her eyes and swallows with a loud gulps, trying to relax herself, fighting against the urge of pain. Yes, I do. Rin puts her body in my arms, searching for a comfortable position in a very uncomfortable position. She leans against me, closing her eyes, and lets one last long breath out before settling into the steady rhythm of sleep. With her last moment of awareness, she whispers something to me, but I can't hear it. Rin trips her deeper into sleep, and with a deep sigh that releases all remaining tensions from her muscles. I try to shift her around to place both of us more comfortably. It takes a while because I don't want to wake up Rin, even though she probably wouldn't, but eventually I find a position I am somewhat comfortable with. I lean against the soft cushions of the couch and breathe in the cool air of the ateliers. Rin's head rests against my chest as if she were listening to my heartbeats. Echoes of her dream ripples as more twitches on her face, like a cat sleeping in the mouse hunter's dream. The full moon shining her pale like upon us from beyond the skylight, reflects from a blank canvas standing forgotten on the easel. Its brightness is glowing against the dark night of the ateliers. Keep reminding people to drink waters while reading visual novels or gaming. Through the cockiness of a freshly awakened mind, I can observe my surroundings only one thing at a time. The morning light shining from the skylight is bright in sky colors. It reflects from the white walls and the colorful poster and paintings. I hope nobody at school realized that I spent the night here. They didn't find out the last time, so I'm feeling confident about my chances. My neck is stiff and my shoulders are hurting like heck from sleeping in an awful position like that. I can't even remember when I fell asleep, only the full moon and rain warm against me. I can't remember her waking up either, leaving my side, however she has. Rin is standing in the middle of the atelier, looking at if she was lost. She's not looking at anything I can see, not doing anything, just standing there. She managed to dress up a little by herself, but strange things. I thought that at least it would have been impossible without hands. I get up and walk to her, patting her on her shoulders, patting her on the shoulders to get her attention. Hey, she flinches at the contact. I never seen Rin flinch. Okay, this is it. This is where the climax. Rin looks a bit panicky, a bit anxious, a bit defensive. It's as if she was a completely different person last night. Perhaps it was. My heart drops straight down to my stomach, full of liquid nitrogen. I'm sorry. Why sorry? It wasn't very tactful of me, you know, last night. But isn't that sort of thing something you want because you like me? So blunt, I'm completely baffled by Rin's approach to this. Now, even if it was, I think I prefer for things to go properly. Rin cocks her head, looking like she has no idea what I'm talking about. She still has this gaudy feel about her, but nothing, barely any real emotion. So you don't want to do that sort of things? I didn't say that. So you do? I didn't say that either. Listen, it doesn't even matter. I just don't think it was the best thing I could have done in that situation. I tried to apologize. I wonder what for was benefit. I'm trying to come clear with these feelings. I don't even know why I'm feeling so terribly guilty. Maybe I don't think it was a very good idea either. Probably. It's like you say, we are not like that. We are friends. It was a bad idea. Maybe you should forget about it. We too. I really good at forgetting things, so it should be alright with me. I can't do that. Why? Because I like you, that's why. I told you that you shouldn't talk like about that. I don't agree. Besides, you brought it up yourself before. I hold my hand up and breach on my nose in frustration. I have no idea how to get Rin to understand. I hate that Rin can clearly tell what she feels about anything. I hate that she's sending these confusing signals as if she's expecting me to read her mind. Do you hate me? She actually thinks about this for some time. I don't hate anything. I don't think I'm a hateful person. Then what am I to you? Help me understand. I try to sound as reasonable as I can, but I don't know if it will help. Rationally thinking, this is the only way to get her to understand my point of view. Problem is, rationally never was a thing for Rin. It doesn't restrict her like it restrict me. It's not her driving force. It doesn't make her behave like a normal person. I can't. The same answer. I feel so powerless. I feel frustrated. Why? I don't think you understand. I'm not sure if I do. Oh, there was 3 choices. Oh my god. Okay. Then explain. Fine, then explain to me. I can't. This same old stupid pattern emerged again. Me asking her questions to which she replies with answers that don't answer anything because it's the only way we can converse. Apart from me listening to her blabbering about whatever, which isn't really a conversation. Is it a play or there are some unseen roles that we have unknowingly set ourselves into dictating the rules of engagement whenever we see each other, inevitably leading to us hurting each other's? Her nonchalant answer accompanied by even more nonchalant shocks leave me none the wiser. I hate it. So I don't know what to say myself. I want to be angry. I'm angry, but I also feel so powerless. Would anything I say matter at all? It's fine if you don't want to turn me down, but at least do it properly. And if you do, then last night was definitely a mistake. In fact, this whole thing might have been a mistake. I don't want to turn you down, so you can't decide. But why are you playing with me like this then? Hug, then ignore me. Kiss, then ignore me. Play me like a fiddle. Is that it? Kiss me, then forget again. My voice is sounding very angry again, even to myself. Rin too finally catches the mood, and her furious expressions change instantly to something more uncharacteristic. No. She looks at that, her eyes restlessly wandering around, searching the room as if the words she tries to find were written in the painting she herself has wrought. Then what? I need to paint, so paint? My vision is filtering through the blood-red lens of unbridled angers. Don't give me that, Rin. I'm not some dang muse of yours, free to be abused for the sake of painting. I'm not some medium for whatever you aspire to. I am me. There's a limit to selfishness. Rin looks down at her toes and fingers them a little melancholically while she takes in my elbows without saying anything to defend herself. Only after I have finished does she try to respond somehow. I can't do anything else, or I can do all sorts of things, but I can't do. It's the only thing I sort of do properly most of the time. Yeah, that much I figure out myself. Thanks. Art first, everything else second, and 1,000. Ever pause to consider things from a perspective other than yours? As not a word from between my teeth. They taste like poison anyway. Rin is positively alarmed by now, so at least she's not completely tense. But it seems that she just doesn't understand what I'm angry about. I can't believe even she could be so stupid. I didn't want to. This time it's Rin who interrupts herself in mid-sentence. Don't you understand? I can't. Can't what? Explain! She doesn't get a word out of her mouth. You never explain yourself. How am I supposed to understand anything if you never say anything? Why don't you ever talk? Say something. But she doesn't. Venting my anger at her feel satisfying, and being satisfied about it feels horrible. Feels terrible. But I can't stop myself. I try to discern some hints of her reaction to my adrenaline's distorted visions. My feedback was not the best kind, but I hope Rin got a clue that she just can't ignore everything else whenever she feels like it. I hate it if she didn't. She never ever listened to anything, so she's so unaffected by the world around her. Not this time, it seems. Her body is shaking like from holding back tears, but I already know that Rin is not crying. Go away! Go away, Hisa. I'm sorry, I can't deal with this. Her voice is tiny and tired as she says this, but I hear the words clear as day. The blunt, hollow remarks is a fitting conclusion to this unpleasant discussion that became even more unpleasant and a very one-sided yelling match. I leave the atelier feeling angry and guilty. I never believed we would end up like this. I'm not like this. Rin is not like this. No matter how infuriating, unbearable, and outrageous Rin is, this is not like her. She really did change, or was it me who changed? Maybe I only thought I knew her, or maybe I knew Rin. The Rin that she has isn't, or was it me who caused all this by talking Rin into taking her chances with the exhibition? Am I directly responsible for Rin becoming like she has been for the past few weeks? I can't think of any explanation for her weird behavior other than the exhibition and all the things that came along with it. Maybe it was the only way that could have brought us closer. But all it did was separate us further away from each other and now beyond the reach of either of us. Don't discover the corners of Yamaku High School, enveloping the small dormitory rooms in the blanket of the night. In one of those rooms, I lie on my bed, tired, so very tired. I gave up. I can't lie there to myself that everything is alright, that everything will work out. That's not how things goes. Glancing at my watch, I see it's 3:30 at night. It's like my fingers over the glass surface of the watch face. It's been pretty dependable ever since I decided to stop wearing it and always know what's going on even when I didn't. I turn my head and see the neatly arranged assortment of medicine on my night table. They are dependable too, things that I'm going to depend on for the rest of my life. I think of the unlimited day ahead of me, the infinitive vastness of time that opens up in front of the others. The time I wasted chasing things out of my reach, time I will never get back. I take off my watch and lay it down on the tables and go to sleep. That's it? That's a bad... Shots of Rich Rin's bad ending. That's a bad ending. You telling me that it doesn't matter? What is it? What is this visual novel, man? Like I swear to God, Rin doesn't. I mean, like I should expect it. Like pressuring Rins could lead to the bad ending, and I don't know what happened afterward. Is this visual novel gonna have the extra scene, extra dialogue at the end? But at least, God, at least Rin tell me to go away, but it's not self-harm too much. But you telling me that it doesn't matter, that leads to the good ending. What's the logic here? Because like we need Rin to, like, communication is important, okay? Like we need to talk it out. Alright, I really want to go load and the scene, right? Oh, so that's for the neutral ending. Okay, actually, I really want to check. I really want to check. Yes, yes. Okay, that is way too back. Okay, where did I? How about this? Wait, if I say okay, so if I support Rin, then it's gonna have like it doesn't matter choice. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, so like I feel like it doesn't matter choice is gonna lead you like for the second chance to redeem your mistake, right? No, actually not. I don't think I make a mistake earlier. Wait, it was a choice of knowing. It was a choice of knowing Saya's husband. So it doesn't matter. Man, I should have saved. Okay, let's go back to okay, is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. Okay, so I really want to go back to the neutral ending, but instead of but aren't you happy if people are interested in your painting? I'm gonna choose if you found someone like that, then what? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go load, go back to things you hate, and then I choose I need to understand again to like get the flow of the story to people understand the what happened next. But I feel like that choice gonna lead to neutral ending anyway. But I just gonna see. I need to understand why. I'm not going to give up, you know. Rinse the slum and she frowns. I know. I do want to be there for you, but I can't do that unless I know how. Just let me do the things the way I want, that's all. Fine, I don't care. You wanted to change, you wanted to destroy yourself, you want this exhibition more than anything, right? Yes. Okay, then do it. She doesn't respond, or even show acknowledge of understanding. But still, I feel like the choice of it doesn't matter is still leads to bad ending, but I don't know. We got a bad ending down. But let's see what the choice afterwards is going to be. Am I in the right track at all in the previous episode, but I choose poorly later on? I don't know. But I'm so paranoid. It's and the choice, it doesn't matter becoming the good ending, because I found it weird. I'm grinding my teeth together, frustrated beyond anything I thought possible. I want to grab Rain's shoulders and shake her until she comes to her senses. I look at her, and in that moment I know with crystal clear, certainly that there's is nothing I can do for Rin. None of the words I know would reach her, but still, I think that for whatever reason you think it's important that you go this way all the way to the end, even if it's not healthy for you on many different levels. But I have nothing to do with it. I can't accept being treated like this and not understanding the reason for it. I'm finished here. The full weight of what I said sinks in the silent distance between us. Rin doesn't show any reaction, no, or even blink her eyes. She just stares at or through me quietly. That's fine. Her voice is perfectly calm, emotionless, like an announcement that the 7:30 train will be 7 minutes late. With those words, Rin makes her choice. I mean mine. If either of us secretly wanted to change our mind, it's too late for that. I take a hard long look at Rin, hoping it conveys my feeling. Without knowing whether it does or not, I leave the atelier for the last time, feeling empty and anxious like so many times before. Okay, so it's gonna lead to the Act 4. Okay, got it. The dreams. Okay, okay. It doesn't matter. Choice gonna lead to Act 4. That's the most important thing. But I'm so paranoid right now. I make it in time for class, though not in time for breakfast. The classroom is bathing in the shaded light of the sun. This means that it's going to be intolerably hot in the afternoon. For now, though, it's pleasant. I look at Misha's and seasonal animated discussion about whatever. Hanako staring out of the classroom window, Muto stumbling into the classroom 4 minutes later and with no recollection of what he's supposed to be teaching today. I could never imagine dropping out of school like that, just like that, even if it's only for a few weeks. On the other hand, Rin doesn't seem to have a problem with the idea or going through with it. And then again, somehow I got caught along in her insane isolation, even if we ended up hurting each other's. Or did we? Maybe only I got hurt. Also, I load the save file that before that I chose to not knowing Saya's husband's story. So I feel like that's the reason why. No, I also choose to understand Tezuka Rin as well. So that's the reason why it doesn't matter. Choice is not being shown there. It's only 2 options. And yeah, turns out like if you support to Tezuka Rin, turns out if you get to know about Saya's husband story, that it will show it doesn't matter choice. However, I still feel that choice still leads to bad ending because like you ignore Tezuka Rin, then explain is also like you pressuring Rin to explain and leads to bad ending and there's no Act 4 at all. So like again, understand communication is everything, but yeah, it's annoying that Rin just not make it clear. Like she did say something, but she does not make it clear. It's just like hard to people from surrounding to understand what she really means, you know. It takes me until late in the afternoon to realize that today is Monday. The art club's missed today, not just that to the ASMs. This will be the last art club meeting before summer vacation. Without Rin, it feels pretty pointless to go there, but I want to talk with the teachers. The meeting itself is noteworthy, just as my skills with watercolor are not worth mentioning. Nomiya tries to encourage and advise me without starting to condescending, but he is not doing a very good job of it. If nothing else, joining the art club has taught me that I like art. It would be nice if I could actually try and make some art in the art club though. After the fruit of everyone's labor have been piled into a neat stack of the teacher's decks, he clears his throat and gives a little speech. That's it for the trimester, everyone. His voice is pretty loud and way too enthusiastic for it to be genuine. The next meeting is after summer vacation on the Monday of the first week of the next term. I hope to see everyone there again. Have a nice vacation. Everyone wishes him a nice vacation back as they found out the door. I stay behind, waiting until the two of us are alone. It's almost dinner time, so I don't have to wait long. Nomiya is looking through the painting, some of which are actually pretty nice. Rin might outclass everyone else in the art club, but she isn't the only one with talent. Excuse me, teachers. What is it in the guy? He raises his eyebrows, questioningly, smiling brightly. It's about Rin. Oh, is something wrong with Tezuka? No, but I hesitate for a split second, not certain how to say what I want to say, giving Nomiya enough time to start blabbering by herself. Blabbering by himself, yeah, not herself. I saw her a few days ago when I was passing by at the science gallery. She said she get one or two more paintings done for the exhibition. I was quite pleased. She was a surprisingly hard worker. I always thought she was a bit lazy doing what she was instead of the assignment. He seems to notice my anxieties and realize he is digressing, shutting up before finishing the thought. But you had something to talk about. What is it? I don't know. She feels detached from everything, as if she can't think of anything but the exhibition. Well, isn't that good? She is focused on her painting as she should be. Yeah, but this is different. It's like she's obsessed. I went to see her and... Have you been bothering her? He cuts in before I finish saying what I meant to say, instantly looking quite irritated. No, I don't think so. I'm just concerned because she stopped coming to school completely. She feels strained too. Stronger than usual, at the very least. Humbug, this is much more important for her than some lousy math class or physics or whatever. This is exactly why the school is so flexible, to give every student the chance to fulfill themselves. Tezuka is a painter, so she should paint, no? And have an exhibition. That's what the artists do. She should be allowed to concentrate on that, not these other frivolous classes. She should be encouraged. If you think about it, it's really quite obvious. His counter argument are not very convincing, but I'm having a hard time trying to make any kind of rebuttals. My crouching silence is interpreted as assent, and Nomiya turns to suffer the stack of turning assignments on his desk like a deck of cards. I have to say, while we are talking about Tezuka's exhibition, I'm very excited to see how it turns out. She's still so young, yet has such a wonderful skill and style. He's talking to the air to relax the mood that got a bit too negative. I take it that you will be attending. Yeah, I guess so. Where we'll meet next. I take that as my cue to leave, and I do, although I'm not happy about it. My message didn't get through, to say the least. And Amy will be there too, to the exhibition. But the crowd jumped in. So many questions asked to Tezuka Rin. The day after that, all the missed opportunity and things I should have said come crashing down me. And there's nothing left to do other but brutes. Second day, I began to feel anxious. I start doubting my doubt, and it feels stupid, especially since I still can't think about anything else than the Rin. That day is Japanese exams and world history exams. Great. The thing I hate the most about her is that she can make me feel this awful, even though I should be focused on entirely different stuff right now. For the math exams, if we have math exams, it goes how it goes. I don't care. Yeah, like trying to understand Tezuka Rin's is making his sounds more mad than trying to support to Tezuka Rin. But yeah, like the dialogue box on my first run, it feels like trying to understand Tezuka Rin's rather than to support Tezuka Rin's. Like it feels like his sounds is angry. I think that Nomiya asked me again if I will attend the exhibition opening. I can say no to him, even though I seriously want to. I just don't want to discuss with him anything Rin related, so it's just better to take the path of least resistance. On the sixth day, the day before the exhibition opening, I find Rin standing in the hallway in front of my room when I return to the dorms after dinners. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? My tone is angrier than I intended, and a little disappointed that I was unable to restrain myself, but it can be helped. Rin just stand there like she just happened to coincidentally be standing around here where she has no business being. The way she reacts so coolly to everything annoys me now. This is not good. It's been 6 days and the sight of her has me boiling. She hasn't even opened her mouth yet. Finished painting? Shouldn't you be at the gallery preparing? And they said no. I guess the gallery opener does that part then, getting the painting frame hung on the wall and whatnot. So why are you here? Felt like it. This same old stupid pattern emerged again, me asking her question to which she replies with answer that don't answer anything because it's the only other way we can converse. Apart from me listening to her blabbering about whatever, which isn't really a conversation. Is it a play, or there are some unseen roles that we have unknowingly set ourselves into dictating the rules of engagement whenever we see each other, inevitably leading to us hurting each other. Her nonchalant answers accompanied by even more nonchalant shrugs leave me none the wiser. I guess I should be happy that the exhibition preparation are complete. When I walk into my room, I hear her footsteps following me in. I didn't invite her in, I would ask her to leave. She cleansed my bed without asking permission, making me wish that I had taken the time to make it before I left in the morning. Then stay up against a stop. She sat on her course. I had laid against the single corner of my desktop that isn't cluttered with stuff to rest my leg at least a little bit. Rin spends a few minutes glancing curiously around my room. It makes me realize that she never seen it before. For a moment, she actually looked like she's concentrating, trying to get everything. This must be the eye for details that makes her an artist. Since the room is small, she quickly runs out things to look at, but nothing else transpires, allowing the uncomfortable silence take over the atmosphere. The mood is chilly to say the least, and both of us are on guard, waiting for the other to make the first move. Of course, Rin could play this game forever, so it has to be me. So I gave up because she never tried to open a conversation, because it seems that she wanted to say something and I want to get it over with. Why else would she be here if she didn't want to talk? I don't know what to say myself. I want to be angry, but I can't bring myself to yell at her or anything. And my voice catches her attention, and she tries to search her for words as well, but it seems that she's not entirely certain as to why she's here either. And so Rin simply takes a few steps to close the distance between us and rises on the tips of her toes to even out the height difference. It was a bad idea. Maybe you should forget about it too, and I will too. It's a reflex, and almost as an afterthought, the word no and yes and maybe simultaneously surface inside my mind. My head is between her lips and mine, a word that I raise to guard against something. Her breath feels warm against my fingers. The sense of her skin lingers about, the mysterious, indescribable sensation that captured me and draw my eyes deep into hers. The look in her eyes is surprised, quizzical as to why the impertinent hand prevented her advances. Her eyes are really big and glistening to moistures and staring right into my own with a soft gaze that I'm having a hard time to rematch. Rin half-open mouth makes her look even more confused, although the sensual way of her lips are aching and is signaling something completely different. Please, I need you. The words comes from her throat as a coarse whisper made only for me, bypassing her tongue and teeth without giving them any chance to interrupt. They stop me in a second. They stop me in an instant, and I clumsily flinch back and to get a little bit of distance between us, painfully scraping against my desk in the process. Maybe it's her choice of words, maybe the way she say it, but something in it puts me off. Something is wrong, something is terribly wrong again. Need me for what? All the unpleasant feelings emerge again, and I feel my heartbeat suddenly increasing at least tenfold. Rin's eyes go out of focus and back again as her body relaxes from its tense state, and she stands up right again. I don't think I was thinking about anything. Why do you try patterns in that dust on your night tables? There was a word for that kind of thing, but I can't remember. Her remarks almost throw me off track, and I glance over her shoulders at the small tables next to my bed, but I can't see anything from this distance. So she needs me for nothing specific. Just happened to come back because she thought I'd be glad to see her after she shut me out. No complaints accepted for a week. Completely altruistic motive. Feel like it? Bullcrap, I can't answer myself. To play mind games whenever you want. To kiss whenever you want. To ignore whenever you want. To fulfill your whims whenever you want. Is that it? What you need me for? My voice is sounding very angry again, even to myself. Good. Ritu finally catches the mood and her curious expression changes instantly to something more uncharacteristic. No. And she leaves it at that, her eyes are restlessly wandering around, searching the room as if the words she tries to find were written in the tapes size of my walls. Then what? I needed to paint. pain. Of course, that's what artists do. The words reverberate through my being, beating in my blood over the piercing whistle of my angers. Don't give me that, Rin. I'm not some damn muse of yours, free to play with for the sake of painting. I'm not some medium for whatever you aspire to and me. So what if I don't know anything about my future? There's things I want and things I care about. Even I can dream of things other than nightmares. I'm yelling, but I'm way past the point of caring about things like that. He looked out at her toes and wiggled them a little melancholically while she takes in my elbows without saying anything to defend herself. Only after I finished does she try to respond somehow. I can't do anything else, or I can do all sorts of things, but I can't do. It's the only thing I sort of do properly most of the time. I understand completely. Art first, everything else second or thousand. What about me? Am I nothing? When I was interested in art, did that make you feel like I was a little interested? Now, for a little while. Tell me, I really want to know. Did you ever think about my perspective, or is it just all you? The words rises like a bow in my throat. She looks alarmed and so completely uncomprehending, as if she doesn't understand what I'm angry about. I can't believe she could be so stupid. I didn't want to. This time it's Rin who interrupts herself in mid-sentence. Don't you understand? I can't. Can't what? You never explain how I'm supposed to understand anything if you never say anything. Why did you ever talk? Okay, this is the same things that then explain choice now. This is the same then explain choice. Is that the reason why it gets to the neutral ending? Say something. But she doesn't. Venting my anger at her feels satisfying. It feels wrong to take so much satisfaction in it, but I can't stop. Not wanting to my face anger head on, Rin turns around to steadfastly look out of my window, even though there is nothing to look at. The words of my are gone. I shut up as I can't be bothered to keep on yelling at the back of her head, so silence finally returns. I try to discern some hints of her reaction to my adrenaline distorted visions. My feedback was not the best kind, but I hope Rin got the clue that she just can't ignore everything else whenever she feels like it. I hate it if she didn't. She never ever listened to anything, so she's so unaffected by the world around her. Not this time, it seems. Her body is shaking like from holding back tears, but I already know that Rin is not crying. Her indifference makes me so furious. Now that it's gone, I'm at loss. I wonders. Did I go too far? Look, go away. Go away, Hisao. How can I go away if you're in my room? Her voice is tiny and tired as she says this, but I hear the word clear as day. What is there to say anymore? This is my room. The blunt, hollow remarks is a fitting conclusion for this unpleasant discussion that became an even more unpleasant and a very one-sided yelling match. After a moment of recollecting herself, Rin just gives up, and I can see it from the way she slumps her shoulders and walks out. Even though she deliberately looks to the other direction, I can see how she's biting the corner of her lips so hard it might start bleeding if she won't stop. As she makes her exit, I realize that she left the door open when she came in, and my yellings must have echoed around the dorm hallways. I sigh. Now that she's gone, I'm left alone with my guilt. As the tapping in my chest slowly subdues, anxiety replaces it. Somehow I feel that none of this would have ever happened if it not for me. No matter how infuriating, unbearable, and outrageous Rin is, she is not the Rin that I knew, the Rin that I expected Rin to be. Was it me who caused all this by talking Rin into taking her chance with the exhibition? Am I directly responsible for Rin becoming like she has been for the past weeks? I can't think of any other explanation for her weird behavior than the exhibition and all the things that came along with it. Maybe it's the only way that could have brought us closer, but all it did was separate us further away from each other and now beyond the reach of either of us. I bang my head hard against the wall, tries to make sure it hurts, but it's self-harm. Don't do that. But yeah, the dialogue box is the same as the then explained choice. A headache is relentlessly thumping against the back of my head as I push open the door up to the 22nd corner. Apart from that, I'm perfectly calm. No, you're not. After waiting on Rin all that anger that I had bottled inside, it felt like a great weight that had been lifted from my heart. The tension that had crossed my mind for the past few weeks faded away without leaving even a shadow behind. In this nearly zen-like state of enlightenment, I realized that perhaps it was a bad idea to yell at her like that. I really meant it, but what good does blowing up like that would do? Nothing. I'm not like that. I don't normally yell at people. I don't know why I did yesterday, so I keep feeling really guilty about it and wanted to take my work back. Reed is probably upset too, even more than my own behaviors. Her reaction shocked me. I always thought of her unchanging and detached from her surroundings, so that seeing my yelling get her to so upset feel out of place. I wonder if she understands how I feel. In Reed's words, everything seems to be so absolutely subjective, as if she was completely unable to see things from other points of view than her own. But ultimately, is anyone able to do it? Maybe objectively, and altruism are just illusion for people who like to think of themselves as compassionate. Just like art is an illusion for people who think reality is merely a veil for something greater. Even when you stop thinking that the world revolves around you or stop thinking outside of the mythical box, you are just inside another bigger box that you can't escape. Maybe that ultimately makes her like the rest of us. I stepped through the door to find a gallery full of illusion people. Despite Sai's remarks during my earlier visits, I always thought it was very spacious. But now, when it's crowded like this, it looks positively grand. I immediately noticed Sai standing in the middle of the lively discussion, busily chattering with some old gentleman. She's actually pretty tall and kind of cool looking, so she stands out in the crowd. There's a few dozen wine glasses laid on the table along the back wall, filled with burgundy liquid. A vast majority of the guests are sipping from their own glasses. The socialites and art connoisseurs are mingling happily, exchanging opinions about Rin's art, which seems to be a secondary object of interest of most. I feel distant, excluded from the other people here. I can claim even at the stretch up to be a social chameleon, so this situation is quite unnerving. Since I don't blend into the crowd, I just figure that I do, trying to look at school as well as I can. I wonder how Rin is handling all this. If it was me, I would be quite freaked out. Throwing the anxiety aside, I try to carefully navigate through the crowd, stealing pics at the frame painting now hanging on the walls. Rin's exhibition takes about half of the gallery wall space. Some paintings are less familiar than others, but I recognize most of them. So I see being created at the club meetings after all, or remember from the time when Rin was choosing her portfolios. I know that a couple of unfinished painting are framed and on the wall as well. Maybe that's what they call coincidental art. Even Rin failures, if you can call them that. It became exhibits of her skills, quite paradoxical. She herself is nowhere to be seen, which is strange because even though it's crowded, the gallery is pretty small. It's fine, sort of. I don't know how to face her after yesterday. Maybe I shouldn't have come. But if I promised various people, Ring included, that I would, so dang, it sounds like I do all the things I do because some kind of instinctual properness compare me to, not because it would be sensible or not. I sneak closer to Sai to wait for Lu in the conversation so I can chat her up too. Even though her voice is almost completely buried under the general background noise, I hear bits and pieces of her talking about Rin. Yes, she is a high schooler at the local school. Even though she's graduating next year, I'm sure various art schools would be interested in. I thought it would be interesting to have an exhibition of someone who's still in the early stages of development. It's so strange. It's like Rin is some kind of mini celebrity, even though this is nothing but a small exhibition opening at a small art gallery of a small town. In fact, there's a friend of mine from his house. My dropping is interrupted by a familiar voice and a familiar slap into my back. I don't need to guess the source of it. I don't need to guess the source of either, even without turning around. Hi, Amy. Hi, are you like a representative of the art club or something? I don't see anyone else from the school here. I don't know really. I guess I am if that's the case. What about you? What about me? You didn't think I'm interested in art. Is that it, he said? No, that's what well, maybe a little if you put it that way. I mean, even though you hang out with Rin, I never heard you talk about art with her, so. Amy hops and looks around her, looking discontented. It's true, I don't care at all, but she came to my track meet, so I thought it's only fair to return the favors. She leans closer, trying to look confidential, but only managing to look conspiring. manage to look conspiring. Do you get art? No, I don't at all. My emphasizing head shake draws giggles and cheery head shakes of her own out of Amy. Me neither. Hey, let's go talk with Rin. I bet you haven't yet, because I haven't either. Come on. And before she has a chance to forcibly drags me to Rin, Nomiya appears behind her with Rin in his towel. She's not dressed for the occasion, instead opting for the usual school uniform and unkempt hair. Maybe her natural looks is what suits her the best. Hello, teacher Rin. On face, Amy greets the teacher cheerfully, causing him to turn around and look down confusedly. Who are you? I'm Amy from school, class 3-4, don't you remember? She looks positively shocked at the prospect that there could be a person who doesn't know her. Oh, sorry, you are the same class as Tezuka, is that right? Yeah. You have to pardon me, I have trouble remembering students who don't take art. Don't mind. Hi, Rin. Hello. Congratulations for your super cool art things. I'm sure you'll be a big hit. She throws her arms into the air for boisterous emphasis, almost hitting me in the face. And look, Pizza came too. Rin doesn't look at me, nor does she greet me. Congratulations, Rin. She keeps averting her gaze, pointedly looking at her sandals. Oblivious to the tension between us and ignorance of what happened yesterday, Amy keeps on blabbering about this and that to an unresponsive Rin. I guess she used to not getting much out of her time. Before long, Nomiya and Sai turns to Rin, introducing her. Expecting it, I catch the second of confusion when the guests see her arms. Sai is lucky on the board and briefly explained about our school. Doubtful face quickly changed to curious. Would you mind telling us something about your art? I thought the developments is quite easily noticeable. What do you say think of the difference between the older and more current works? It's quite rare for someone so young to dabble into abstraction. It would have been interesting to see how you work. Well, definitely. I assume you use your feet. Must have been a great trouble to learn it. You should be proud. Will you be pursuing a career as an artist after school? She is bombarded with so many questions she can't even hope to answer all of them. Maybe that's for the best. Rin tends to talk nonsense more than occasionally. So where do you get your ideas? That's the fifth words. Rin keeps stumbling with her words, looking more and more vexed by the expectant. Looking more and more vexed by the expectant inquiries. Everyone is waiting for her to say something, but she looks like a cat caught her tongues. Expressions piling up just as to her distress. I fail to hear the question that is so. I fear to hear the question that is the proverbial one to many. It's like a motor stalling. Rin just freezes for long seconds until she falls on her knees, hitting the floor ungracefully like a sack of potatoes. Are you alright? I don't know. Tezuka, what's wrong, girls? I don't know what's wrong. A terrible silence falls upon the people gathered around Rin. Everyone is petrified, not knowing how to react to her sudden seizures or something. She breathes with deep, trembling gasps as if she was running out of air, staring ahead of herself with hollow eyes. Seeing that nobody else does anything, I force myself to step to Rin and lift her up from the floor, letting her lean against me to keep standing. Would you like some fresh air? Okay, let's go outside for a bit. I don't even wait for her to answer before grasping her shoulder and pulling her past her, the stunned looking Nomiya, Sai, Amy and guest. Excuse us. The cool evening breeze hits my face at the door. I let go of Rin and she leans against the stone wall, trying to catch her breath. Are you alright? I couldn't say anything. Rin is still not looking at me, so I look away too. The street light and color neon signs twist my vision into blur of near blindness, forcing me to look back. At least she talks, even if she's not directing her work to me. What did you want to say? Maybe both of us can imagine that we are talking to an invisible friend. I don't know. Something that would have meant something. The silence lasts for a long time. I don't feel comfortable being alone with Rin. I'm not good at imagining things that don't exist though, or that things that exist don't. We should go back in. The guest size invited are in there. They probably want to meet you and talk with you. You know, ask you questions stuff about those paintings you worked so hard for. I don't want them to ask me questions like that. I can never say the right things. What do you want then? that someone wouldn't have to ask question from me. And in the previous episode, I chose the first option, but I don't think any. I don't think this will make a difference, right? Will this choice reach the good ending, or it just, you know what, you already argued the Doreen is gonna lead to neutral ending anyway. Because the dialogues box later on his rooms, even though you're trying to understand Rin, then later on you ask her to explain, you pressure her later on, and yeah, that makes Rin less for loving you. So oof. But let's see if this choice will make a difference. But if you found someone like that, then what? But if you found someone like that, then what? You can really think that it would be some kind of BO end of things, star-crossed lovers and happily ever afters. My question is met with blank stares, the darkness in her eyes, unfazed by the thinly veiled bitterness. No, I don't think that. But at least then I wouldn't have to be alone. She whispered the words to the lights of the town, but I hear them anyway. I shouldn't have done this, not yet. The exhibition? She nods and closes her eyes, breathing calmly out as if to push she can, and then continue talking to herself. Why? Wrong conjunction of the planets? No, not that. I double checked and I caught up with the right, I mean left, foot and did everything else left, I mean right. It's me. I was wrong. She stands straight and stretches before stepping past me out into the street. Wait, where are you going? She stops on the track and turns around, looking at me quizzically. School, I'm leaving. What? Why? Because I want to be me. Rin walks up, leaving me behind, utterly confused. Rin! But something she says really touched me, or maybe it was the way she said it. Maybe it was the fact that she said it. I want to say something back to her before I forget this feeling again. As if granting me a wish. Rin stops in her tracks. She doesn't turn around, she just keeps waiting for me to say what I want to, even though I didn't have time to think what. Rin, listen, I don't believe you have to be alone, even if you never meet anyone like that. I don't know if she heard my words, but either way, she doesn't react in any way. For the final time, she starts walking away from the gallery. So where's Tezuka? I can only shake my head, but as it doesn't seem to be sufficient answer, I have to say something. She ran away. What? The horrific realization spreads on his face like wildfire. This is a fiasco, catastrophe. What is that girl thinking? The most important event of her life, and she just runs off? And you, why didn't you stop her? I'm going to hold you personally responsible. Sai interrupts him, holding her hands up calmingly. It's because she intervened. The teachers was starting to get a few weird looks from the nearby guests. Now Shinichi, she's probably just had a stage fright. I don't know her as well as you people do, but I did get the image that she's somewhat peculiar. This kind of thing can happen. It'd be fine. I explain that she suddenly become ill. The guests will surely understand. But look around you, everyone seems to be rather happy with the free wine and chit-chat. The guests will be fine, but we are missing our opportunities here. Networking, making contact with acquaintance. Making contacts and acquaintance? Asa, don't keep arguing about something that can be helped. It tucks my sleeve and to get my attention. She doesn't look very happy either. Come on, where? We're going to find Rin and kick her butts. What? I can't believe she's so stupid. That Rin, how can she do this? I'm telling you, she doesn't have the bit of common sense in her head. Amy is seriously angry, only missing steam rising on her ears. Rising from her ears. I guess I understand Amy, she is that kind of person. Give up, has never felt like a part of her vocabulary, and maybe she feels it shouldn't be a part of anyone's vocabularies. It's probably best to leave her alone for the night. What, are you reading expert now? Nah, not now. We still haven't get a good ending from Tezuka Rin yet, so I am not a Rin expert, okay? I mean, I expected to pressure Rin, then explain, would lead the bad ending, but my brain would say that, oh, maybe pressuring Rin's will let Rin's gonna lay it all out, talk about it, but yeah, it leads to a bad ending. I mean, I expected it, but I choose then explain anyway. But it's surprising that to support Rin is unlock the choice. It doesn't matter, and I feel like how is that making any sense on having it doesn't matter to lead to the good ending? But I don't know. She takes a firm stance and puts her hands on her hips confrontationally. It's like she wants to pick a fight with me too. Now I don't think that's even possible in the first place. I just don't think kicking her butt would do her any good. My melancholic remarks surprisingly works as Emmy slumps her shoulders a little and sighs. I know that. You do. The last time I did that, it changed nothing. The ride back to school in an empty late night bus is silent. Boys keep staring at the lights flashing past the windows without saying a word. The nightly crowds are quiet, lit only by the one moon and yellow lamp post. We say our goodnights in front of my dormitory. Amy reflexively clenching her fist compelled me to ensure that she won't assault Rin the moment I let her out of my sight. Promise me not to scold on her. Promise me to not go scold her. She looks up at me, her eyes again flaring with anger that I match with as calmly as I can. It's only easy to face an angry woman if you're not the target of her ire. After a minute of the mismatched staring contest, she sighs and shakes her head in defeat. You are too nice, Hisao. Did you know that? Hands up a smile or tucking the corners of her mouth as she says that, and she seems a lot more relaxed. What a sudden change of mood. Maybe she wasn't as angry as it seemed to begin with. Maybe her mood changed easily. If I was, I would have let you have a way. Does that mean you're only nice to Rin? Both of us are hiding our concern behind empty jokes, but at least it puts me in a good mood. Amy waggles her eyebrows with a half amused smirk, trying to push my button. Not gonna work. No, it just means I'm not nice only to you. Hey, good night, Amy. Don't worry, Amy. After Tezuka Rins, I'm going to focus on Amy's routes. Amy, you will have your chance, but just be patient, okay? The last day before summer vacation is running slowly. Science is the final exam of the trimester and then we are free. The collective yearning for liberty is almost palpable in the classroom, even though the weather seems a tad cloudy. It might rain today, who knows? I already finished the test because it was pretty easy, so I'm dawdling lazily on the flip side of the paper waiting for Muto to call times. It also prevents me from trying to covertly look at my answers over my shoulders. She might fool the inattentive teachers, but I can tell that she is trying to look. I guess it's her best bet at passing the test. Doesn't make me feel any mercy though. So I just ignore her and look around me. It's quiet. The only sounds in the classroom of the quiet shuffling of papers and Muto's constant coughing. It makes my awareness of surrounding slowly strips to the backstage of consciousness, giving room to other things. Vacation, huh? Some people will stay at school even over the holidays, and some will go back to their families. I don't know what to do. I should go buy a train ticket for my trip back home, but I can't bring myself to do it. I think I'm going to get a call from home again. My mom's going to pester me about when I'm coming back, and I'm not going to know what to answer. This is really lousy. This is really lousy. In the current state of things with Rin, it feels like I can just bail out here and pretend we are cruel. And now she has other problems on her own. I thought that the exhibition opening would give her a breather, but I was sorely mistaken. The tango just seems to thicken. Some knock on the door interrupt the quiet but the frantic mood of the last 15 minutes of the exam. Come in. I don't remember this in the previous episode. Why you suddenly enter the classroom, our teachers? And the opening door reveals the art teacher who steps in with his jacket swirling around him as through in a gust of wind. He glances at Muto, who glances back at him. A frown spread simultaneously on both of their faces as the men measures each other with the gazes. Excuse me, could I borrow Mr. Nakai for a moment? Excuse me, Mr. Nomiya, but we are in the middle of the exam here. Okay, something wrong to Tezuka Rin, right? Actually, atmosphere suddenly spread in the middle of the summer vacation as the two men trying to stare each other down. This is urgent, and it seems that Naka has already finished. Both men turn to look at me, staring at me like a pair of basilics trying to petrify a tasty snack. It's true that I've been idle for a good while now, so Nomiya is right, but... Nakai, would you like to check your answer from Matam? Muto speaks with an odd intonations, waiting certain words as if trying to send a message. The pressures from their stare makes me rapidly shake my head, which is apparently interpreted as an answer of some sort. Very well, Nakai, go with Mr. Nomiya as you please. Take your bag with you and bring your test paper to my desk. Okay. You have a nice vacation? It's now vacation. We're gonna follow Mr. Nomiya's and see what he has to say. If there's something wrong to Rin and... Whew. You too, teachers. The entire world, well, at least the classroom seems to hold its breath just for me, putting an exam on hold until I stand up, collect my stuff and walk to the door. I can feel the stress in the back of my neck. My classmates probably think I'm in for some detention or something on the last day of school before summer vacation. I don't know what the teacher wants from me, but I can guess it. Probably it's not a detention. Also, it probably has something to do with Rin again. Nomiya doesn't take me anywhere, contenting himself with the hallway as it completely abandoned. Do you know where Tezuka is? I don't know, okay? So she is trying to avoid the teachers for the course probably. I wonder if she realized that she can't avoid dealing with this indefinitely. I have no idea. You have probably asked her in her home next door. Of course I have. I have searched every nook and cranny of this plastic school and the girls' dorm. You're the last one to see her since yesterday and you're her friends. Well, with me here, aren't you worried? Okay, listen teachers. Let me ask you the same question. Aren't you worried about Rin, teachers? And if Amy is here, I also ask the same thing. Like, are you really care about her? All you care about is fame. All you care about like having her artworks make it into an art gallery. But have you ever cared about Rin's field? Have you? I am, but I don't know what I could do. Rin did something incomprehensible yesterday even for her. She seems really confused. Maybe she just wants some time to think then. I got the feeling that she had second thoughts about having that exhibition or something. She really didn't explain what was wrong. What second thoughts? I don't know, I just got that feeling. I'm being a little dishonest with the teachers, but this is not something I should be meddling with. He came to me, yes, why? And maybe he thinks I'm some kind of confident of Rin's, but I don't think I can have with this matter. The teacher hops and scratches his head in confusion. What's up with that girl? This is so unlike her. She's always been so goal-driven. Goal-driven? Goal-driven? Those don't really strike me as what to describe Rin with. To me, she always feels obsessive at best. I don't mean to be rude, but wasn't it you who pushed Rin to that direction in the first place? Her goal is my goal. That is a mental job. I guess so. I just don't know if painting can make her happy. That's pretty preposterous of you to say, Nakai. He suddenly sounds pretty irate. Did I say something stupid? You don't understand, do you? It's not a question of happiness. For every gain, there are sacrifices to be made. There is no free lunch, but guy, I let that girl waste away her talent if she has a moment of doubt. Never. Painting is work just like any other. Tezuka might make it look like a child place to you, but she works hard every day to make her art. To become extraordinary, one has to make an extraordinary effort. The more the teachers talk, the more I feel like that Rin doesn't think like that, even though I had no idea how she thinks. I can very well understand why she would sacrifice her summer vacation and make up for the lost classes and exams to get the chance of showing her art. This is the path she has taken to go all the way. That's not easy. I know she is young and things are hard for her just like for all the kids here in this school, but that's no excuse. He is finished, but do you have anything like what author is to Tezuka? No. That's right, I have only a vague idea of my futures, no goal to shoot for, no dream to blindly reach for. I joined the art club say in search of something I could be interested in, to get inspired by. Did I find something like that? Or I find in the end was Rin. No, I don't have a passion like that. Then you can understand. His flat statement allows no counter argument, but she might not understand even herself. Still, I carry on arguing out of spite if for nothing else. How can she not? She's been at it so hard for the past few weeks that she put up even coming to school, not to say anything about attending class. Don't be ridiculous. I don't think I'm being ridiculous, but as I have no rebuttal, Nomiya seems to consider this one is win. At any rate, the opening was quite successful despite Tezuka hardly showing up. Many people were interested in her work, and one piece was even sold for a reasonable price. Well, that's nice, isn't it? Yes, it's fantastic news. I hope that Tezuka would come to her senses when she heard about this, but he sighs and takes off his glasses, cleaning them against his jacket before putting them on his nose again. At any rate, I should be going. This is a mess to be settled with Sai and everyone. If you see Tezuka, please ask her to come see me, otherwise I have the knife's vacation. Thanks. After he has disappeared around the corner, I wonder where Rin could really be. It feels like she has not one but at least half a dozen of these secret places. I balance between the desire to solve this tangle and to drop it for good. This disused classroom is just a few feet away. What to do? As I push open the door, only the shadows greet me from the inside. Hey there. Oh, there you are, Rin. She's standing in the middle of the sunny room, peering through the gaps of the curtains out or into the yard. Like so often before, she doesn't start on or jumps, just calmly wait for me to make the first move, as if she's trying to become a permanent part of the furniture. The teacher is looking for you. A blank look up over her shoulder is all I get, accompanied by a cryptic non-expression on her face. Are you looking for me too? Now I already found you, didn't I? Did you? She furrows her brows, looking so puzzled that it makes me wonder if the question was asked in its all seriousness. Maybe it was. Are you talking metaphorically now? Do you mean like eels, caves, and dogs storming nights? I'm bad at talking like that. The abruptly ended greeting gives me the chance to close the door behind me and sit down on a dust-covered desktop. Rin is standing, but at least she turns around. I soon wish she didn't though. I soon wish she didn't though. So oppressive is her expectant stare. This is her place and I'm an intruder, although a tolerated one. Despite that, she's still waiting for me to say something. If I only knew that. The solid silence presses me toward decision. I came here without really thinking what I would do, apart from delivering Nomiya's short message in case Rin was here. She was, and now I don't know what else I want to say, what else I should say. I hover between my two options for a moment. Rin being troubled me too. It's a surprising revelation, almost as big as realizing that she really is troubled was. Nothing I can do would probably help, and I might be partially to blame too. Does it mean I should just wash my hands of her? Didn't think so. So what's wrong? Nothing. She starts to turn away again, as if trying to physically exit a conversation she doesn't want to have. Rin, stop trying to dodge me or I leave. Okay. Do you want me to leave? Are you still angry? It took us, or was it only me, 10 seconds to swamp the conversation into this. I wish we could erase the past, or failing that, forget all about it. I wish for that more than once in the last few months. Let's put that aside for the time being, alright? If you say so, I do, so what's wrong? Sai and Nomiya were not too happy that you just ran out yesterday. You let them in quite a pinch, and I suppose the teachers want some kind of explanation. It seems like you just threw out everything you have worked for, and I don't get why. Did I make a mistake? My reprimanding and her flat answer goes so much against the usual expectation and I presume interaction that it might just as well be somebody else talking. Neither of us is like we used to be this stiff. The constricting feeling I get every time I look at Rin nowadays seems to be mirrored in her own behaviors. I hate things that go irreparably wrong. Ever since February, I have hated them. What can I say? Her question is trailed by a compelling critical stare that makes me sigh in front. Conversation nobody wants to have or worse. I don't know, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it probably was pretty stupid. She's responding with a sigh of her own, although hers is not nearly as heavy as mine was. I just couldn't do it. But why? What's wrong? A pause of her brow, a quiet voice. Let it be his out. I don't think I can really explain it in a way that would make sense. Yeah, Rin doesn't want to have this conversation either, that may be for the better. But how rare of her to admit that she has some kind of limits. I always thought Rin was all but ignorant of her tendencies to get distracted, so much that she inadvertently obfuscate everything she says. You never explain anything in a way that would make sense. Nobody else has ever asked me to. I guess that's how it is, but I always wanted to make good sense of you, to find out who you are. I still want to, can you see? I know you can't, but I do. Is that why I keep this up? It pains you as much as it pains me. It's unlikely to be of any use to either. We did things and said things that can be undone. It's as if you and me being closer to each other, it just hurts us both. But we still deliberately keep doing it. Isn't that silly? Even now I can see how you force yourself to respond even though you owe me nothing. Even if it's hard to talk about things like this. Why? Why is it that you pain? Because I don't know what else I could do. It's like this feeling that there is no choice. That is the only possibility. Like when there are only watermelon flavors popsicle left in the stores, but you need to eat the popsicle. Her poor metaphor aside, she didn't really answer anything. If possible, this makes even less sense than not knowing. But if you don't want to pain, not like that. You had to come to this school even though you probably didn't want to have a heart attack. She pauses, frowning as if something in that what she said didn't please her. At least I think you wouldn't. Her careful follow-up is followed in turn by another shorter pause with another smaller frown. Would you like to have a heart attack? No, I wouldn't, and I didn't want to. But you're doing fine, aren't you? Are you still sad about it? Ring questions makes me realize that I haven't really thought about my illness for weeks. Aside from choking down my medication every day, there has been no need to concern myself with a broken heart, which I'm only thankful for, really. Getting to know new people, a new school, new town, a new life, yeah, or has caught me and make the past fade away. No, I guess even I can't dwell on the past indefinitely. See, even watermelon doesn't really taste bad if you have to eat it. Her hypnotical closure seems to put an end to the subject in Rin's mind, so I just nod in uncertain confirmation. There are two kinds of silence: awkward ones that you don't want awkward ones that you want to break, and confident ones that you don't mind. The first kind of bad because it makes your thought go awry, like mine do now. Looking at Rin makes me feel bad. I don't want to feel like this. Looking at Rin makes me feel exhausted. I really tried my best. She tried to. I have no idea if we ended up like this. She ended up screwing up her exhibition opening. It feels like we are at the dead end. There's no direction to continue to. I reached out of her yesterday, thinking it would be the last time. She walked away. I want to be me. What the heck does that even mean? Rin, if anyone, is most definitely herself. I feel kind of relieved that I'm not the one who blamed, but this still grates on my mind. Why did she run away? It didn't make sense yesterday. It doesn't make sense today. The things she said feels like they should make sense, but they just don't to me. You know about the thing you just said? Which one was them? Painting, she said something like that to me before. That is true. Artist does not paint because she wants to, but because she must. I've been wondering about what she said. Why do artists have to paint? My question is probably pretty stupid. At least Rin looks at me in the blank way that seems to say so. I don't know, am I an artist? Well, you paint stuff and you have an exhibition too. I said you qualify. I think I still don't know, but okay. The thinking pause that follows seems to last for half an eternity. Unlike most people, Rin doesn't flavor over her thinking pauses by body language or saying like or anything. I noticed that I might get prefer her way, the usual way even annoy me, as if people were so infatuated by the sound of their own voice. They just have to keep making some noise, even when they are just thinking about what they could say next. Rin just comes to a full stop while she's thinking. It's disconcerting because reacting to people spacing out is always hard, but she comes up as less obnoxious. Yeah, comes up as less obnoxious, not obvious. I think I want someone to see what's inside me, not the way doctors and serious killers do. The way that doesn't make me feel lonely. This is what you call metaphorical, you see. Please don't lecture me about your self-evident things. It's not self-evident that this is self-evident. So you present a painting to someone and expect him to magically see a glimpse of your soul. It's not like that. It's just like a little like that, but not really. Don't you understand? I do it and I don't. You know, if I feel a little bit of despair every time you ask that question. What question? About whether I understand you or not. She seems almost surprised at my clarification. Oh, it's not really a good question. It's one of those kind of that you don't have the answers. Rhetorical. Yeah, that's the word. A question that is no question that is the rhetorical question. How nice. That reminds me, it doesn't really make sense. What kind of question is the one that isn't a question? A rhetorical one. What kind of an answer is an answer that doesn't answer anything? Is that a rhetorical question? You're not funny. But if you don't like it, would you like me to say something else instead? I don't think I don't have any good one those. How about your pants are on fires? This can be our secret language. Rin's honest to goodness, silliness, make twice more ridiculous by the fact that I know she is really serious. Derails me like it always does. It's like some kind of simply locks to prevent me from becoming too much of the worrywart, dragging even my own thoughts of the crowd where they should be. It makes me smile confusedly, but only on the inside. Even though the corner of my mouth are not drawing into the green, I'm still impressed by her ease of breaking any attempt at being too serious. Because she will so forget and ignore things that bugs her, things that bothers her. Because she will so be free of whatever burden being her means, or am I the only one who feels burdened by being myself? Not herself. No thanks. But still, the times when I feel that I'm on the same page as you are pretty rare. It feels like there is a huge gap. There's this huge gap, and sometimes you just go to the other side, and I don't have any way to reach to you from where I am. It's like you are in some completely different places at times, even though you are right here. That's right. There is an insurmountable discontinuity, an imaginary glass wall that blocks comprehensions from happening. There might be such a gap between any two peoples, but with Rin, it feels more tangible. Rin does not react to my thoughts, not to the one I uttered aloud, nor the one I did not. It's even worse than art. I'm not very good at art, I admit it. I joined the art clubs because I thought it could be interesting. And I guess it is. I like art and I like art too, but just like with you, I can't comprehend it. And I'm pretty sure nobody really can't. This seems to worry her slightly. Do you think so? Yeah, I guess that art is meant to be interpreted, not understood. That's how I put it. That's a sad thought. I guess it might feel like one. Does it make you feel sad for yourself? Rin thinks about this for a while and then shakes her head surprisingly vehemently. The first thing she focuses her eyes on afterward is me. Both of these things make me glad and relieved. That's good, isn't it? Anyway, you should go and see the teachers and apologize properly. I think he's worried about you. Can you do that? Can you do that? This time she nods her head, only it's not as vehement. The hallway is empty, almost intimidating. Nomiya's office is the art classroom at the other end of the floor hallway. Our step echo disturbingly. The atmosphere is unlike on normal afternoon. It feels like the school knows that nobody will be coming back for a month too. The door is open but not very inviting. I'm way outside. Nodding barely noticeably, Rin strides in without stopping and naturally without knocking. Maybe that's what it takes a few seconds before I hear the teacher's voice from inside. There you are. Hello. A conflict arises. Should I stay here or go somewhere else? I'm not sure if I can even want to eavesdrop on them. Manners lose to curiosity, and so I stay close enough to listen in. There was echo in the hallway, but no matters. There is nobody around except for me. Dear girl, what were you thinking? Living like that on a big night? I couldn't say anything. Compared to Nomiya's scoring tones, Rin sounds awfully quiet and withdrawn. Her words seems to drown under his. I have to say I'm very disappointed in you, Tezuka. It was no good at all. Never mind all the things I did for you, but what about Sai? What about all the guests who wanted to meet you? There was nobody, even Zisao. You have embarrassed us very badly, Tezuka. Reputation is what counts. Surely you know that. It's alright, I don't need it. Don't need? What do you think you know? Rin's replies only seems to agitate the teachers more, his voice rising with every sentence. The path of an artist is a thorny one. I'll tell you that, Tony. Tony Torres Thornton! You have to see the big pictures. There will be bad times and good times. Things are like they are. It will be alright even. You might not think that it's all so wonderful and easy, but how far would you have gotten without me? I would and always be there for you. When you like on the floor of God damn it. I keep laughing on that jokes. The tone is toneless tone. Alright, calm myself down. We in the climax here between Nomiya and Rin. Alright, stop thinking about that joke for a moment. God. When you lie on the floor of your minuscule room, you ran 3 weeks late. You're blind for the 4th week straight. Then you wish that you had listened to old Nomiya a bit more. When you keep measuring how the shadows of your chairs becomes longer over the spring because that's all the Lake Toshi allow. Maybe that's when you will start caring about your career. That doesn't matter. Your resolve is not enough. I'm not a resolve person. You're not a resolve person. Then tell me why? Why? Why did you go through all this trouble if it amounts to a mosquito? Oh dear, the teacher's blew a fuse. Him yelling at Rin makes me feel bystanders guilt. If I had gone with her, maybe he wouldn't have gotten so angry. If I had not let her run away, he wouldn't have gotten angry in the first place. I still could go and save her. I don't think I can. I was the same. I yelled at Rin too, and I'm feeling all the more embarrassed about it now. I just justified to vent my anger at her face just because I felt it was her fault that I was so frustrated. I was no more just notified than the teacher is. A terrible silence sets upon the hallway. Rin does not have anything to say to Nomiya, whether she has run out of answers or she knows that arguing would only make him angrier than is anyone guess. The teacher has nothing more than to say either. It seems, or maybe he just ran out of breath. For a moment, I imagined the two of them just staring at each other, one full of breath, hot anger, the other full of yes, what? I can tell how Rin feels, not before, not now. The teacher seems to expect Rin to say something too, but since she doesn't, he finally continues in a quieter but not in less angry voice. What good is there in doing so much work if the outcome is nothing? Still, Rin was not saying anything. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have gotten so excited. He does not sound sorry at all, rather his tone is cold and sharp, like he was spitting the words out his mouth. It seems that I was expecting too much. You're not an artist after all. Yeah, not sorry at all. He stomps out of the club room and down to the stairs without noticing me. After he's gone, I pick it carefully inside the classroom. Rin is left standing there in front of the teacher's desk. I couldn't say I'm sorry. She says it into the humid air of the classroom, not to me. But since the room won't answer her, I will have to. That was unfair of him. He was angry, but still. I can't decide how to end my sentence. Disdaining the teacher feels like disdaining my own behavior from 2 days ago. Stupid but correct in hindsight. Rin will answer, staying petrified where she stands, so I walk up to her. So she stood up for herself. In a way, I didn't expect that. I can't determine whether it's unbecoming or not, but either way she did. Against me, she never did. I sort of wish she had, but maybe I would not feel this bad then. Lately, it really seems that I've been wishing for all kinds of things. Rin? Go away. What are you saying? You're angry with me too. You angry with me too, right? I thought you were my friend. I thought he was too. Her voice is unlike I've ever heard it. It's bitter, sharp like needles, and she keeps staring pointedly at her toes. I don't think it's about that. He wanted you to be something you're not, and I take a deep breath and finally catch her eyes in my own, locking our gaze. I'm sorry, I wanted us to be something else too, more than friends. Maybe that's why I couldn't contain myself and become so frustrated, just like the teachers did. What more? There's nothing more to me than me. That's who I am. I don't understand that. Well, the answer should be obvious, right? I remember myself thinking of the purpose of friendship, to put up everything and anything to be there for your friends. Yeah, I felt as a friend, thinking it could be a stepping stone for something else. Maybe because of those thoughts, I didn't manage to put up with things to keep it together. As outrageous as Rin is and was, I shouldn't have let myself get caught into that, especially when I started feeling the way I did towards her. So did I fail? That's what her eyes seemed to ask. I'm sorry, Rin. I might not be able to be your friend. I don't think I could ever be a good friend to you. I say these things because they are true, not because one of us would like to hear them. But there is something that must be said. The finality of my words creates a shaking silence for what could either of us add to that. Why? Why does all this happen? People are doing things I don't ask for, and I don't want, and everyone keeps getting angry at me. I have no idea what is going on anymore, and I can't stop feeling like I want to run away from everything. She shuts her eyes tight and breathes out deeply, calmly. When the eyelids open, all I can see is dark green desperation. I have no idea what's wrong with me. Her frenetic outburst stupefies me for a moment, and for a heartbeat, we just gaze into each other's face. Seeing her confused eyes desperately looking for answers from mine only makes me sad because I know I am not. I don't know either, but you know, you yourself said that things are not right, no wrong. They just are. You either accept them, work to change them, or give up. It's not that I hate you, that teachers know me does. I just think that I am a kind of person who gives up when he feels he can go on. And even if you hate it, this is how things are. I'm saying pretty cruel things, but I can't stop myself. The words keep rolling off my tongue with slow, hard, suddenly. I can see them hitting Rin almost like physical blows. As the redness gathers into the corners of her eyes, they are still white with the shock of rejection. As the tears stop rolling down on her pale cheeks, she does nothing to stop them. Oh, she cries. That's too pressure. I totally understand how that feels. Man, teachers, like, have you ever thought how Rin feels? I know, like, yeah, I have to agree that it's Rin's moment in the art gallery, and it's also wrong of her just suddenly ran away. But teachers also have to understand how the students feel. Like, can you delay the art exhibitions for the few days later? Like, let the Rin calm down for a little, then yeah. I mean, to get a neutral ending, yes, like, it's still successful for Rin to go to a good universities to Tokyo, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know, man. Because you have to remember that the artists or animation or salary people, they are passing away by overworking. So like you have to remind everyone that they are not alone. They have their friends to talk to have someone to understand. As they fall down on the floor one by one, she stands still staring at me with the gaze full of hollow disbelief. But reality catches up. Oh no. Rin slumps forward as if she was deflating and buries her face as deep in my shirt as she can. Rin is heavy and feather light when I support her weight. She doesn't really sob or bawl, she just leans against me, letting her tears burn through my shirt into the skin underneath. And I let her, bringing my hand around her shoulders in a clumsy hug that does no good to comfort her. I can feel Rin's vertebrae against my fingertips, like a hard and jagged reminders of how messed up things are. Her slim shoulders quivering against my palms is a pitiable sight, and the hopelessness of being part of the cause for Rin's sadness keeps straining my heart. To make a girl cry is the most despicable things to do, even Rin, especially Rin. And behind that veil of alumnus, Rin is just a human being too, just as confused, scared, and lost as any of us is. Most of the time, it seems that there's no rhyme or reason for Rin does and says, but for once, I think I really understand how she feels. But no words can express this, and no words can make it better. So wordless we stay, quietly waiting for her tears to run out. Time passes agonizingly slowly. Even the lazy spectre of dust floating in the air seems to pause into a standstill. The obligatory clock is ticking distractingly from above the door. I decide against counting the second because it will make them feel longer. Eventually, Rin stirs a little and still smothering herself against my chest, mutter into my shirt. Let me be here for a while. Please, hiss out. Just give me a little while. Sure. Shooting the look spread into my consciousness. The knowledge that while being here for Rin is all I can do for her. That's all she wants right now, even after all we gone through. Sure. So she stayed there, but I can't bring myself to draw her closer, draw her closer, not closer. Oh my god. But I still can't bring myself to draw her closer, so I could embrace her properly. It's because doing it would just make me so sad that I don't know if I could bear it. The realization that we might never really be able to become what we want to be for the others crystallized into my mind as a diamond heart enlightenment. Pang search through my heart like an electric shock. It's painful. This clarity hurts. What can we be for each other? What meaning is there for us to desperately cling to each other even though it seems so futile? What should I say to Rin? How can I make her feel better? I do not know any of those things, and I fear knowing them would only hurt more. Forcefully, I push all of that out of my mind because I don't want to be thinking of hurtful truth. My thoughts calm down soon enough. The sun is dispersed until all that is left is me and Rin and the tenders and the tender feeling of her warmth and softness against my chest. When did I fall in love with her? I can't remember, but I'm certain it was way before the warm touch of her lips on my own. On that orange colored afternoon when she was sick with cold, and I went to see her because of unclear reasons. Her carefree attitude, the air of otherness around her, all the things that make Rin herself, those things captured me with irresistible force. The way she could take it in anything and everything, giving it only the value she herself placed, waving all things fairly and without prejudice, saying the words as she wanted. This is something I could never do, and Rin was probably more of a muse to me than anything ever was to her. She seems so free to me, truly a free spirit, while I, constantly worrying about everything, seems so inhibited that it was almost embarrassing. Maybe that's why I latched so tightly onto Rin, trying to get inside her a world that was so different from my own bleak life. Before I noticed it, that irresistible force had pulled me dangerously close to her, but it turned out to be the way too alien to me. And I had forgotten Newton's of all things. The gravitational force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the object. So if two people feel something for each other, even though feelings are not governed by the constants of the universe, I can't help thinking that for some time now, I've been a satellite to Rin's brightly shining planet Rin. The thought makes me almost laugh. She really seems to be from another planet at time, minus green skin and possibly some tentacles. Perhaps because of my forced laughter, Rin pushed away and let her go. And I let her go, feeling the go when her warmth goes away, and slight embarrassment for letting my thoughts run wild like that. I credit that as Rin being a bad influence on me, while being glad at the same time that she can read thoughts for real. Rin's bitter tears have dried up, and she looks a little more like herself again. The lost look in her eyes is still there though. Her gaze wanders around restlessly before stopping at me. What happened just now? Can you tell me? What do you mean? I cried. She says that hesitantly, as if not believing it herself. Yes. She keeps staring at me as if pleading guidance so that she wouldn't have to feel so lost. Why? You're sad. Is that what you want me to say, but isn't that obvious? I don't know. It feels weird to cry. What? I don't believe it. I mean, everyone understands it's normal. I bite my tongue before I finish my arguments about normalities. Norms do not apply to the person I'm talking to. It's always feels so wrong, different from what is in me. Like I couldn't really tell what I felt. So I started thinking that maybe I don't know what I'm feeling. Maybe it's me who is wrong. I thought those kind of things. I thought that painting was enough because it felt that I did at least that right. That's all that inside me could become a picture. I tried really hard and it could, but it doesn't feel like it's enough anymore because if nobody else can see that, I will still be alone. Was it wrong to try? Everyone got really angry at me for that. I really heard Rin say that this much as one before. Once she finishes, she simply shut up, looking so neutral that it's hard to believe she's just said what she did. I don't know what to think. Rin was desperate for someone to look for her painting, and somehow she right threw them into her soul to understand her feeling, because she felt she could not express them in any other way. How can one say whether that is right or wrong? Could it be that or this time she been trying to reach out to me like I tried to reach out to her. I sit down on a desk thing to rest my legs that keep us both standing for a long while. You know, when I read a good book or look at the starry sky or whatever, sometimes I do feel something profound, like a shoot. I don't know how to describe it, but the instant I try to put it into words, I feel like that I lose something. It doesn't feel as real, as true as it did inside my head. It feels a bit phony. Dang, even what I just said felt phony. I offer a smile that is meant to be between funny and self-deprecating, but Rin doesn't react. Anyway, it might be that nobody can ever express their true feelings so that others understand. Reality has no chance of living up to what someone has inside their head. Nothing can match that, not even your painting, except maybe for you. But I suppose you can keep everything inside. You explode for real then. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think it's wrong to express your feelings, even if you use painting as your conduit. You just can't expect people to understand you and any better than they would if you did it any other way. In fact, you can't expect people to understand you at all. It's because everything is so subjective. You see the world the way you do, but it's different from everyone else. But isn't that terrible? I guess it is in a way. She frowns, looking probably as chicken as she can, which is not much, but it's enough for me to understand that Rin is not particularly happy. I think it might make me sad after all. Yeah, I know. I wish I could do something to help it. I don't think I sound bitter, even though I am a little. This is my problem. I cannot be what Rin wants for her, and for the same reason, she can't do the same for me either. She makes a difficult face, carefully trying to pick the words she wants to say. So Rin has times when it's hard to say. Rin has times when it's hard to say anything too. It can be helped, I think. But if you say that, it makes me feel a little better. It's funny how some seemingly irrelevant things are the most significant ones at a time like this. Like how Rin's voice is very very small, barely audible when she says that. And how even her short bangs can cover her eyes when she looks downwards. And how they can cover the deep red color rising on her cheeks and all the way to the tip of her ears. They turn into a very interesting shade of red. A deafening silence follows. It's very awkward, as if I saw something that wasn't meant to be seen, even if it was on purpose. I don't know what to say to that, but I keep feeling like I should know. She doesn't either. It feels like there is no momentum to lose, even if it keeps silence. Like we have some weird wireless connection that would hold even so. Rin keeps shifting her weight from one foot to the other, restlessly looking everywhere around the room except at me. She is the one who finally breaks the spell. Can we go? I don't want to stay here. Oh yeah, of course, where? My reply is covering my nervousness as badly as her question is covering hers. You can go wherever you like. Honestly, I haven't really slept for a few weeks. It feels like there's a flock of light blue butterfly inside my head. It makes it harder to think properly. The kind that you think is too blue to really exist, like Amy this morning. She shakes her head, and I almost expect a couple of ultramarine colors morphos to pop out of her ears. A small smile tucks over the corners of her mouth. That reminds me, the blue, not the... the word for the flock of butterflies is swarm. I look it up. That makes my eyebrow rise into a questioning arch. Why don't you use it then? I like the other word better. Why look it up in the first place then? Then you should use it, right? She nods and for silence, her gaze escaping mine to the side, extracted by the dark orange sunlight reflecting from the windows. We stay like that for a little while, me silently looking at her, silently looking out the windows. Hey, you alright now? She glances at me from the corner of my eyes. She glances at me from the corner of her eyes, looking wistful again. The sunlight's reflection doesn't betray any more of her inner feelings. I need to think about that. I want to continue this conversation, grasping at those jaws that she finally reveals to even exist. But Rin is looking out of the windows so absentmindedly that I know she won't be responsive in any ways that would make sense. It's like some kind of defense mechanism of hers to avoid being sensible. Her mind is like butterfly in its cells, always fluttering somewhere, always whenever it stirs. Just somewhere I thought I could see behind her veil, she jumps out of my reach again. Maybe that's just how Rin is. Maybe that's something I should just accept to get just some peace of mind. Okay, I'll walk you back to the dorm again. I'll walk you back to the dorm then. Thanks. Really? The empty hallways of the school devoid of its students feel very lonely. Less than 1 hour after the summer vacation began, the building seems to be deserted, and all of that intrudes on the stillness of the hallways or footsteps. The change is sudden, but it just shows how the building is just an empty shell, passing away without its students and teachers. It's that though the school has become a private world for only the two of us, a desolate place filled with silence and chalk dust. I think I have to change. Yeah. Yeah, change is hard. Sometimes that you just do what you think is right for you. Like, do you want to change or not? It's up to you. But sometimes, yeah, you need to think ahead if the change is good or the change is bad. But yeah. You got this, Rin. Feel free to change. But at the end of the day, that just do what you think that feels right to you. Yeah, I think I have to change. She says out of the blue while we walk down the staircase from the third floor, still managing to feel like she is mirroring what I was thinking just before. That's what people must do sometimes. That's the last thing we said to each other that day, even though there would be so much to talk about. And even those words are drowned in the all-encompassing silence, disappearing into the stagnant air as if they were never said. Man, that's a long talk. I feel like we're in the right direction to the good ending, I guess. Alright, the first day of the summer vacation is a disappointment. I woke up water come down from the leaden skies in biblical proportions. I was optimistic at the time. A quick summer showers, I thought. Torrents of rain for a few minutes and it's gone. No such luck. Rain water is relentlessly pouring down from the blue-gray sky outside, streaming down the glass of my windows in small brooks and rivers and gathering it together to form miniature ponds in the walkway. Just like it has done for the past 2.5 hours. So I've been half cleaning up in between, half reading books, packing my stuff on the side when I get bored of the first two. The weather drags my spirit pretty down too, making it harder to do anything properly. Something bumping quite loudly against my door rouses me from my apathy. I hope it's not Kenshi's and his crazy indoor bowling alley. I hear no more sounds from the corridor until I walk out to the door and open it. Oh, it's Rin. What are you doing here? I wish seeing her would evoke some more emotion in me, but for one, I'm too surprised that she came to see me, and for two, she's soaking wet. Her uniform shirt is drenched and she is standing in self-created puddles. Droplets of rainwater are dripping from her shorts, pants, and sliding down her nose until they fall down from the tips, one by one. Hi. How are you feeling? Medium normal. The relative questionability of her statement aside, she sure doesn't look too good. You're all wet. It's because I come from the outside. Do you know it? Why you be outside? It's raining bucket out there, if you haven't noticed. I haven't. It's raining pretty hard though. I was on a walk. Is this what you call wallowing in self-pity? Do you think I'm pitiful? No, I'm like that you think you are. I'm not, and rain is not a sad thing. Don't you ever walk in the rain? I do, but only with proper equipment, like an umbrella. You just need to imagine you have a blue umbrella with white stripes. It might be tough when rain is falling on my head. Just imagine others. Yes, she's definitely back to normal. Those half sarcastic, inconsiderate remarks that really push my buttons even though she doesn't mean it. That vacant space out stare that always expecting more than it gives. It's so very much like her. I may need to come in. I need some help with this water in clothes I'm wearing. My brain is quickly solves this equation and I stumble with my words. A stark display of contrast against Rin's easygoing sales invitations. But Amy, Rin shakes her head vehemently because wanted to sprinkle everywhere. She left. Besides, she would just worry and fuss until she could not worry or fuss anymore, which always takes a troublesomely long time. It's in fact longer than I want to hear her fussing, and I thought you probably are not the fussing kind. She slumps down on my desk with a squishy sound. So close of making the desk and everything on it wet, but she doesn't care. Okay, fine, I'll help you out. I have a towel somewhere. Do you want dry clothes? Is the uniform fine? I'm taller than you, but everything is fine. We are little searching. I find a fresh uniform and fluffy towels from the depth of my closet. The towels in one hand and the uniform in the others. I turn to face Rina again, uncertain of the next step. There is something wrong with me. A normal guy would just stop worrying. It's not a problem. I should be worried because the window is at your back and you're wet and you need to change your clothes, and I really don't want to see you not wearing anything, you know. A normal guy just there is something wrong with me. A normal guy would just stop worrying. It's not a problem, but I still think it's a problem, you know. She probably could see right to my hesitant demeanors, as if I was completely transparent to her. I push my anxiety away and concentrate on the 8 buttons lines on her shirt, just like my has. Okay. The sound my heart beats, and the screen goes pink. And I'm not gonna lie, I really don't want to see her not wearing anything. Present? Should I do anything with it? Oh. Present is a fleeting and vague concept at best. The moment between the past and futures, that doesn't really mean anything. Thinking too much about things that don't make sense is a waste of time. That's why living to the present is always the best option. Besides, for us who cannot foresee the futures and who forget the past too easily, present is really the only proof of our existence. Even though existence will go on, even if you forget about it for a while, it's good to seize the days, at least every once in a while. That way you can confirm that you are in fact alive. Okay. I'm pretty sure that the girl who's standing there half-naked staring out the window of my room has a much better grasp of present than I do. As for me, where right now I'm somewhat confused by my present state, and see I should try to locate my shirts and not stare at Rin's. But I just can't stop looking at her. She's so close to the glass that her nose is probably going to leave a mark. At least her breathing does when it condenses on the rain-cooled window glass before quickly disappearing again. My shuffling around to get dressed doesn't rouse Rin from her contemplation, which is fine, really. I don't mind the silence as much as I used to. Only after I almost finished with buttoning up my shirt does Rin say something, still without turning to look at me. Let's go somewhere. Where? I can only assume she is inviting me and not the windowsill, but it's a fair guess. I know. What? Help me get dressed. I think today is the day. Come on, clothes. Clothes. What an impatient tone. Come on, you got it off just fine. This is the same, but the other way around. It's like talking backwards. Yes, the birds drive me smish. What is that? Perplexed by her sudden and prodigious display of mental processing capacity, I forget to attempt reversing her gibberish back. I'm pretty sure I can switch to talking backwards that fluidly, even with some practice. Could you repeat that? I don't know what to say that. Okay, fine, I'll give it a try. Rin lunges towards the door, even though her shirt is not even buttoned up all the way yet. Left with the little choice, I run after her. As soon as I realized that we are heading to the sides of the engine. As soon as I realized that we are heading for the side entrance leading to the forest, I think I know where Rin wanted to go, although I didn't say why she wanted to go there. Then again, I can't really assume my guesses to be anywhere near correct when Rin is concerned, not even for a quite generous definition of correct. The forest behind the wall smells of rain. The last raindrops are still dripping from the wet undergrowth into the earth despite the rain being gone for a while already. We strolled along with an unhurried pace that Rin sets, giving me time to take in the coming atmosphere. I think I can hear Rin saying hello to at least 3 different trees while she walks past them, but I ignore it, just like the trees do. She leads me to the narrow side path leading up to the hilltops, as I guess. I peek through the canopy trying to find the rainbow, but there doesn't seem to be one. It's perfect weather for rainbows. The sun is shining low, and the rain has passed not too long ago. Well, whatever. I lower my eyes from the tree top to see the back of the girl who's climbing up the hill slowly without losing her balance. A few steps ahead of me on the path, but still within my reach. I don't think I ever could reach a rainbow, but reaching Rin, it seems less impossible than it used to seem. Ugly skies greet us from above. The meadows clearing seems vast and beautiful. A strong wind is hurling the rain clouds away from the town to the other side. The mountains in the distance. The sight is pretty, but a speck of white flies past the edge of my peripheral visions. When I turn to look, it's already gone. This effect looks so cool, I'm not gonna lie. Another follow, then a third. Before I realize it, dozens of almost invisible small tubs of white are flying all around us. Look, the flowers. I see it now. The sea of dandelions that covered the hilltop on our last visit has changed over the days. Where there was bright yellow before, there is now fluffy white. Some of the flowers have already shed their seeds, but many are still waiting for a suitable gust of wind. Today, those gusts are not in short demand. Every now and then, they shake the grass thoroughly, and suddenly the air is thick with dandelion seeds. One by one, the seeds separate from the flowers' heads and are lifted away. A commonplace event, but one that seems to fascinate Rin for some reason. She's turning her head from side to side, marveling at the change happening all around her as the seed flies away. I watch them too, following the white tops floating with the wind towards the horizon, and imagine that I can see them even after they disappear from my sight. His sound. What is it? Do you love me? I snap to attention to meet her suddenly very serious face that is not looking only at the flower anymore. What a tough question, asked just like that out of the blue. Still, her bluntness compels me to answer rapidly. I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe too rapidly. What does that mean? I don't know. Rin sighs, perhaps unhappy with my wishy-washy answer. I would be too. Me neither. I don't think I know much about love. It's fine, isn't it? How should I know? The shrug of her shoulders seems to say, hesitating to give a firmer answers. She stays silent for only a second too long, but even that second isn't long enough for me to think ahead. I love you. Wow, she said it. Also, I keep showing image because the background art is beautiful. The rotoscoping is astonishing, and with the characters standing in the middles, having the effects flying past by, it's beautiful, man. And I'm surprised this game is free. This visual novel is free. You can check it on Steam. The link is in the description down below if you want to check them out. Those 3 words freeze me in place like a rabbit staring into headlights, but I'm not a rabbit and I'm just staring into Rin's eyes. That seems far too impassive for what she's just let out of her mouth. Rin looks pretty serious though, until she sticks out her tongue, froze a little and confused me even more than her word did. Why does she look mildly unhappy? Was it a confession of her deepest feeling? A test to see how I would react, a test to see how she would react. It tastes weird. Taste? Yeah, so weird. She laughs, maybe nervously, or so I want to think, but stopped midway when she noticed how strange it sounds. Like, I don't know what. I don't think there is a word for this. Rin keeps on talking as though there was no meaning behind her words. Steady and careless words dropping from the same tongues that form the more important ones. A word from accept. It's like she can't find the words. Rin just keeps staring at me, stumbling with her words is up. Her Rin just keeps staring at me, stumbling with her words as if her brain suddenly ground to a halt. She looks awfully confused, much like how I feel right now as I wait for her to explain. But she doesn't. She just blinks a few times, the flutter of her long lashes catching my fancies because she looks like she is petrified otherwise. Until I realize what they were fighting against. It's the fierce tears again, not associated with sadness or happiness, not pitiable sobbing or laughter or joy. Just tears tenuously and without warning, like that one time in her classroom. Just a few of them, not enough to make a fuss about, so Rin doesn't make a move to hide them even after noticing. Rin cries, looking like she has no idea why, and somehow a great uneasiness grows in my chest when I look into her watery eyes that stare right back at me. It petrified me too, the shock of the incomprehensibilities of this situation. I just don't know what is happening anymore. Rin, what's wrong? She shakes her head in confusion, stumbling to get the words out of her mouth. Sorry, I might be a little afraid of you. The words are muttered slowly with a small voice that is as disbelieving of what is saying as I am. What? Why? I don't know, saying that just make me feel like that. People cry when they are afraid, right? See, I can do this too. She averting her gaze now, deliberately not looking at me. It bewildered me, at least as much as what she's saying. Sometimes with you, I want to run away so badly, but I can't move. It's like my legs turn into a lemon panna cotta pudding, and my heart feels like it's going to explode. And she slumped her shoulders melancholically. Has a thing like this ever happened to you? I remember the leaden skies above the frozen forest and the sounds of the leafless branches clacking against each other's. It's like memories from another life. Yeah, once. My heart hurt a lot back then too. But I thought your things was not contagious. I shake my head and a tiny, slightly forced smile slices on my lips. The other element of my heart could very well be contagious and wouldn't care a bit. What are you afraid of? I never thought I was scary. Rin shakes her head desperately, as if knowing that the tangles inside her mind won't be undone with just that. You make me feel that I should be someone else than me. It's a scary thing. It happened when you are being nice to me, like yesterday. I never know what to do at times like that. It's hard. Her voice is very audible, a whisper admissions of something that is too embarrassing to even think, not to mention to say aloud. Rin has never been one to be embarrassed, so she does utter it aloud, only timidly, as if by instinct. But I want to do something, but I don't know if this me can. For a moment, we just stare at each other as if waiting for the other to say something. You're so stupid. Rin lips taste salty and scared against mine. As I grasp her into the embrace, I feel my heart thumping in my chest painfully. Uh-oh. Don't forget that his child has a weak heart condition, I think. And Rin's has no arms. But yeah, his sounds, calm yourself down a little bit, or else it's gonna end horrible. Even though I'm glad that she can say things like that, they make me sad after all. The spirit, her passion, her strength, all those things that hold dear are the one I don't want to change. How should I treat them, or where are they headed to? Is that future irrevocably different from mine? That anxiety will never lose its grip on my heart, but I think I could learn to live with it. Slowly the pain in my heart dies out, and it settles into the same rhythm as Rin's. We listen to that for some time. After our lips break apart, it takes a while for either of us to realize that we can say something now. See? You're a really kind person, even when you're not. It's the most scariest thing ever. I think that all I was ever afraid is afraid of is your kindness. It's not bad. Is it bad even if you're afraid? She thinks about this for a while, furrowing her brow as though this was some kind of hot map problem. No, I'm alright with it. It's fine if it's you. Like a weight lifted from my chest. Her words elate my heart, filling it with I don't know, happiness. What is going to be? This time my smile is genuine. Rin stepped back, still smiling gently at me like I do at her. While she wipes her face on her shoulder, I pick up a round, plump dandelion clock and bring it to my lip. Oh God, are you going to taste that? Are you gonna taste the dandelion? I never tried that, but I can imagine that. Oh God, it's not gonna taste good. It's not an edible flower, you know. Oh, you gotta blow it. Oh, okay. Never mind. They spread out into the wind that picks them up to carry them to a new home. Do you think only a few short weeks ago they were so different? This is change. Oh, you're gonna blow it. You're not gonna taste the dandelion. You're gonna blow the dandelion. Okay. Hey, so the flowers became what they were meant to become, like you said the last time. What about you? Did you become the true artist or did you not? Because you ran away. And she pauses for a while to ponder my question and shrugs her shoulders. It almost makes me laugh. The carefree easiness of her gesture is a lovely thing, a sign of how Green can, truly and really, without any restraints or whatsoever. She set the entire weight of the world from her shoulders should she wish so. She is in very possible and probably a few impossible ways free. And I think I might love her for that. I don't think it matters. Let's just watch the class for today. Oh my God. We talk a lot. Is this a good ending? Is this a true ending? We really talk a lot. Wow, it looks so pretty. Is it a good ending? Because like I still feel like it doesn't matter choice, like it makes no sense for me. It makes absolutely zero sense for me. It turns out I was that close on my first run to reach the good ending, but it turns out to be a neutral ending. I mean, that's totally fine because I feel like most people would pick the same as I am, but if you pick differently, then nice. I mean, sure, people would pick it differently because like there gonna be some people want to join the studio console with Misha and Shizune. And again, I feel bad for Misha for not having a route in here. She deserved to have one, you know. But yeah, Katawa Shoujo is a good game. Shizune is a girl who cannot speak and needs Misha to help translate the work that Shizune said to Hisao. And Emmy's have a prosthetic leg, and Rin has no arms. Lily is blind because she has a navigation stick, and Hanako, yeah, her face. Yeah, I didn't want to know more about them, but that's gonna be the story for another days. She takes a 5 steps to climb on a large rock so she can rise as high as it's possible here and stands on tiptoes. When you reach for the clouds, every inch counts. Sure, let's watch the clouds. It's good to do something you really want to do every now and then. Yeah, you're probably right. I glance upwards at the sky, at the blue sky opening high above us. The sky looks pink, you know. It's a deep cerulean vastness that spreads to fill my entire field of vision and beyond. Yet Rin stays on her rocks, peering at the distant horizon where the rain clouds are drifting further away from us. I had decided something. That dreaming voice of her, spoken to a wind that carries it to my ears, is lacking resolves in tones but full of it in meaning. It's alright to be me after all. It's alright. Her decision always seems to be pretty far out. Well, I suppose that is an important realization, coming to terms with oneself, accepting yourself, being fine with what you are. A simple resolution of course that for some people is overbearingly hard to do, if not possible. I do realize well enough that I might also be one of those people. Rin too, maybe we are not that different after all. Maybe to accept someone else, you must first accept yourself. Maybe that is a necessary step, which we didn't take until now. Look at her standing on that rock. I believe that she's can find whatever she is looking for, and so can I. Is she T-posing? Is she T-posing? Even with disability, even with disabled people who has no arm can also T-pose too. That's amazing. I don't mean to be rude, you know, but the illustration, the background arts, the effect, they are so beautiful, man. And I'm surprised that Katawa Shoujo is free on Steam, and I feel like Falling Studio deserves to like have people like more support, you know, because I feel like there are so many. I feel like so many visual novels in general, like even in animes, even in movies, like these artists, animators, they don't earn much, and there are influencers out there that want to fundraising, and of course I cannot do the same because I'm not rich, you know, but I feel like Katawa Shoujo's like deserve to have anime adaptation, man. I'm not gonna lie, but again, at the end of the day, it's up to Four Leaf Studios. There has to be a communication between the anime studios and the game developers, the authors. So yeah, like, I mean, yeah, Katawa Shoujo, really good visual novels. Highly recommend. Check description in the videos down below. It's free on Steam. There's a link down there. Go check it. The Rin catches her hand close and Rin spread her short arms into an embrace that is so very tiny, but it's but as wide as she can ever do. For a moment, it looks like she herself might take flight. And I have to tell my. For a moment, it looks like she herself might take flight, and I have to hold myself back to not reach her for her shoulders, to not drag her back to me. But this picture is something I can only watch. It is something for me to remember. Rin's sleeves are flapping freely in the wind, her hair wildly tousled by it, her skin touched by the setting sun, her sleek form that I've come to adore is quivering in the cool wind that carries the small white specks past her, each a beginning of a new flowers. All that is engraved inside my heart. Like those tiny seeds scattered into the wind, I'm sure that Rin too can take her place in this world without the need to create her own inside of it. Maybe she believes it too, and standing as close to heaven as possible, she is giving the world a big hug. To me, it seems like the entire world really could fit there, between those small arms of her, inside of her, or encompassing embrace. Isao. She looks at me in the same way she calls my name, carelessly over her shoulders, with a strange happiness in her voice and in her eyes. I guess into those mysterious dark eyes that are curiously twinkling from below her auburn hair. Although I'm too far for her to see it, I'm sure they are reflecting my image. What is it? What's the word for it when it feels inside your heart that everything in the world is alright? Can you seize the day? Rich Green good ending. Joke. Oh, okay. We have not only the soundtrack for the ending credits, but also maybe music videos. Soundtrack music videos. Good God. The game's so good that I joke. Coughing. Okay, I don't want to see that. What is that? Oh my god. What a beautiful game. What a beautiful visual novels. Highly recommend. Oh my god. What a masterpiece. What a masterpiece. Well, that's okay. I'm speechless right now. Okay, let me calm myself down with checking the extra. So yeah, like I know, like choosing different choice, we're gonna lead me to like the new soundtrack because of knowing Saya's husband's story, and I really like to know more about Amy's in the next episode, to be honest. But knowing to the side character stories is also very interesting, and to let the visual novels reader to know why they did the thing what they did to others. Alright, let me check the gallery. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like I cannot wait to check Amy's route in the next episode because it reminds me so much on 100 Meters, the anime movies that had the Rock and Roll Mountain Studios was in charge of. And I really want to see Amy's storyline. Also, like, I feel like the unlockable, I seen this pink star and then the black star. I don't know what that means though. But we got pretty much most of our Tezuka rings. Okay, let me yeah, let me check Rin. Did I get everything? Alright, so the only one thing that I didn't get is the it doesn't matter choice. And you know, I'm gonna do this off camera because I feel like I'm done. I did the goals. We found out about Rin's bad ending and the good endings. Yeah, and it's gonna be a long way to go though. 33%. But yeah, I really want to know Emi's route. But Rin's not 100%, and I know this it doesn't matter choice. In order to unlock it, like you have to support Rin and get to know Sai's husband's backstory. He passed away young, and yeah, you got the options when you're fighting with Rin. So yeah. Anything else? Cinema. Yeah, the cinema is only for the route that you choose. Okay, so that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed these videos, leave these videos likes and don't forget to comment down below what you think about Rin's good ending and Rin's bad ending. And yeah, I hope these videos help me calm myself enough after Chicken Invader 3 originals, by the way. If you're new to this channel, so don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Okay, I need to go to the restroom real quick.